Okay, I started the recording. Hello everyone, now we're gonna review items, cause why not?
Because we
Okay,
were asked.
so let's start with the clock, Umbra adaptive clock.
Okay, so this item is.
Broken,
Yeah,
cause
no, I don't think it's like super broken because it
it's
has some shit interactions with other items. There's a
yeah,
couple
okay,
items that can
true.
break this. There's a
Yeah.
couple things that can break this item, which makes it so it's not like the perfect item because it has bad synergy with good items like currents.
Yes, like
So
if it's like rockets or something that's a proc when you shoot, and you like shoot, go stealth, and then they proc and you like decloak, and that's that can fuck you up. But
So
mostly it's
this item's like really good. It's basically like
yeah,
starting with a weaker refractor.
yeah,
It's basically just a weaker refractor,
yeah.
but it has no offensive potential. But it's
No,
good, but
it
it
can kill
has
stuff with second challenge. It actually can kill stuff. So
it's good, but it has like poor. Its scaling isn't that great because there's some things that has poor synergy
I
with.
remember when it was broken, dude. I remember when it was like 8 second CD and you can just like spam it, and it was fucking broken.
I remember with the nerfs, you could recycle it for like 20 dodge, so you could just start the game at 80 dodge. That was fucking hilarious.
Oh wait, how much dodge does it give now? Like 10?
I don't know, but it doesn't scale as well. It used to be like 20 dodge, like 200%. It's less now.
Okay.
So you could just recycle this ASAP, get like 80 dodge, and whoopsies, you can't die because you're assassin with 80
Yeah.
dodge.
So overall, it's just a good escape item. Like nothing bad about it. If you can like play
It
around
has,
it.
it has some bad synergies, so you need to be careful with.
I
There's also laser cannon, which I don't think breaks cloak at all. So you
oh
can actually
yeah,
fire laser cannon in cloak. So it has some bad synergies, it has some good synergies. It's overall solid, but you need to be aware of
yeah.
its
So it's like
limitations.
yeah. So field supply. I
Best healing item in the game.
no. Math is best because you can just like
No, meth is you don't use meth for healing. You
okay,
use
okay,
meth.
okay, okay. But
You know,
it's considered
healing on
healing
meth is irrelevant. But basically, this is the best healing in the game. This
for a loop,
has
for a loop. Cause
even outside of loop, it's still quite good because like outside of loop, like ammo chests give you like 100, like 1,000 health or something stupid.
yeah, true. But like I don't know like why people say it's bad. Cause like okay, it's maybe bad in
Because
co-op.
people
Cause
don't do loop. Well, it's
yeah,
not even bad in
nah, I mean
co-op
like
because it
cause it
heals your
fucking
partner.
drops the ammo pack and
Yeah,
tells
like the
you
drop is useless in co-op, but
yes,
it
it's
heals your
trash.
partner, which
But
makes it
overall,
like
it's
super broken noise.
yeah,
Basically, the best healing item in the game. It will give any class that has its extreme sustain. The healing goes to your partner in co-op. So, and if you pick a specialist in co-op, please pick this because it basically gives everyone infinite healing. So,
it also stacks. It also stacks. So if two like
yeah,
demons have this, it stacks and it's fucking insane. It's funny. It's so
it's also based off of maximum health. So, if
yeah.
you're playing something like a Riot Guard and your partner has this, you can heal for extremely silly amounts of HP if you have really high max HP.
Even in loop.
So. Yeah, even in Loop, this is like nearly 100 HP per pickup if you have enough max health. If you have like 3k max health, this is over 100 HP per pickup, which is
Funny.
really dumb.
Yeah. Because Medkits gives you like at most 50 HP in loop. Like
Yeah,
it's the
and then
best percent.
ammo boxes give like 100 plus, and ammo
Yeah.
boxes are spammed in Loop. So
Yeah.
if you're like this is probably the best item that engineer and demo have access to. So always take at least one of these.
Yeah. Because
Don't
like
ever like try to skip it.
there's
It's up
nothing.
to you if you don't want to use it, but it's literally the best item you can start with. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. It's like there's nothing bad about this. It's just free heal and sustain. Like there's like why wouldn't you pick this? Okay.
Okay.
Next
Item.
overdose.
This is basically just how new players can play commandos because this item's
Yeah.
kind of useless. But
Yes.
it's
Because
just there to make commandos less punishing because commandos tend to be extremely punishing if you make mistakes with them. So this can let you like negate your mistakes, but it's not really good. It also
it's
scales very poorly
yes.
into higher difficulty because the damage you deal to yourself, I believe, procs fragile,
Yes,
and
it does.
this can also proc poison, which completely negates the healing and hurts you even more than what you heal.
Yep.
So basically, just a noob item. It's bad. The moment you're good at playing commandos, stop taking it. It's terrible.
Yes.
But
It's just
you're,
like oh fuck, I messed up. I need to heal. That's all. Like
yeah, it's just a crutch for commandos. If you're starting out commandos, use it until you're comfortable, basically. But replace this ASAP once you're comfortable on them.
yep. Okay. Next one.
This is extremely good. This is one of the best items in the game, but unfortunately, you don't pick it much because it's overshadowed by what you could pick
yeah,
instead.
stun
Because
grenades or map. It's
Guardians,
the best combo overall.
Guardians have the best start items in the game, so this thing goes really
Yeah.
underrated because no one ever uses it. But
Yeah.
because there's no reason to use this. This is never better than stun plus meths. But
Yeah, but
this
I just enjoy it more.
extremely, this is a viable alternative, and it's extremely strong. It's basically like having. You can either compare this to having 100 dodge or having a plating that regenerates every second.
Yeah, it's straight up busted. It's also reflects damage, so you can just like one shot like some sniper that shot you.
You
So,
can like one shot. You know, not one shot them, but you
but
can
it's
do like
just
half their
deals a
health
shit ton of damage
items.
to them. So it's quite
Like
good.
ions can. This also helps Riot Guard deal with ions and snipers, which are his like hardest counters. So this is definitely a decent. This is definitely. This is also like this is a good alternative. It's not better, but it's like good if you want to change your pace. This is really
Yeah.
good on Riot Guard because it helps him with his hardest enemies. Because ions and snipers just hard counter Riot Guard. Like he gets completely dicked by them, and
Because armor
this thing
piercing is a
gives him
thing, and they take
this
this.
thing gives him an alternative, like it gives him an option versus those enemies. But Stun Grenade does the same thing for Riot Guard, so it's
Yep.
actually not that good. But it's also really broken in Hyper Adrenaline, by the way. This thing has full effects in Hyper Adrenaline. This makes Guardians have the easiest Hyper Adrenaline run because you can pick this plus Wicked, and you basically just don't take damage in Hyper Adrenaline if you play it correctly. It's like plating is broken in Hyper Adrenaline. This thing is like having a plating on 1 second cooldown, so it shouldn't be a big surprise.
Yep, it's overall good. It also you can recycle to get some damage absorbed. So like if
Which
you
is
don't,
never worth it compared
yeah,
to what it
yeah, but
gives
like
you as a.
if you need to like remove a slot because you like have like all like top tier items.
I legitimately think this is better than most dropped items. I don't think there's anything that's better that's dropped. Like even Refractor, I would say is not as good unless you're playing Creature.
Yeah, okay, true. Okay, let's go to next item. It's overall like review system is good. If you just want to like be a branded and not use a stun grenade like I do, because
Like you don't want to use active items.
yeah,
It's really passive, so there's no brain power required to use
yeah,
it. But
and I
it's
just like to
worse than the
chill.
alternative. It's not as good as stuns, but it's
Yep,
still quite strong. It's still top tier.
yep.
Okay, so this is
Unidentified potion. I don't like this because on Angie it's straight up dog shit because you can't proc positive attacks effects that often because your luck is shit. Like 80 luck is not enough to make this item viable, and on the demo it's straight up useless. Like why would you pick this on demo? He doesn't need
And
this.
also, it's also bad in higher difficulties
Yep,
because it can proc hardcore bleed, which will punish you heavily for trying to use it.
yep. In
And
battle,
it's also, yeah, and it also procs when you're playing when you're playing co-op and you use this and you get poison. Both players get poison, so this is like trolling your partner basically.
yeah. So
It's like if you don't want to gamble with it, it's fine, but it's usually just not practical of an
yeah,
item. It usually doesn't give you enough of an effect. Like there was once where like you could like farm this off of Seth turret, like you get infinite amount of
infinite
these,
amount of this.
and you could like keep spamming them until you got the stats you wanted. But it's like if you can only have one of these, it's not that good.
Yeah, but it's overall like a mediocre item. It's just a meme item, I think, because you can just like gamble with it. If you just want to go full on gamble mode, take this on NG and just fucking pray to the gods of RNG.
Just don't take this in co-op if it's like on 220% because you're
Yeah,
actually trolling your partner if you
yeah, because the poison procs the what was it, fragile
fragile.
effect, and it also
Yeah.
it's like it's a very high chance to proc poison because your luck is shit on NG. Like 80% luck will proc poison often, and the positive effect isn't even that good. And there's
And the
like
poison will take off like half your HP too, so
yeah,
it's very dangerous to use this on higher difficulties. It's like same reason why it's not good as overdose. Just you basically
yes,
wind up killing yourself for no reason.
yeah. You overall just pick a field supply that's just better than potion, like in all ways. If you need healing,
Okay, so next item,
math.
Methadon. This is one of the best items in the game. It's basically starting a game with a slightly weaker refractor pistol.
Yeah, it's one of the best starting defensive item in the game.
It's also like super good in co-op because it
Yeah,
helps your partner. You can apply this to your partner and yourself at the same time. So if you're playing co-op, this is even bigger of a reason to take it. And a hidden effect on this thing is that if you have no charges, If you have no charges, you'll always get 2 charges from teleporting. But I wouldn't recommend trying to like go down to 0 charges to use a teleport refills because you won't be able to spam this in the floor you're on. Only
Yeah,
having 2 charges on this makes it very inflexible. It's better
it's
to have like 10
okay.
plus charges.
It might be useful on like high like demo, like deep loop demo who has like Akira, like refractor and shit, like some broken shit. Who can just like run around and kill everything, you know.
In
Then you,
Breacher? You
yeah,
mean
on
Breacher,
Breacher.
right?
Yeah, yeah. My bad. On Breacher, who can just like run around, kill everything like in 5 seconds,
Yeah.
spam it.
If you're doing like a Kira Breacher, you can spam this, but generally
Otherwise,
speaking, it's basically it's. I would say the effect itself is stronger than Refractor Crystal
yes,
because it
yes.
lasts for so
It can
long.
just
But
like it can fill up your like damage absorb up to 150 if it's like strong enough and like there's not nothing like
it
bad.
also has a hidden effect where it resets your damage absorb if you're negative. If you are at negative absorb, it will always set you to 0 before affecting you. So this thing will always be effective even in loop. If you press this in loop, you don't take damage effectively. You
Yeah,
can like face tank ions. You can literally just sit in front of an ion and it can't hurt you. So it's basically a limited refractor crystal that's stronger per use. I would
yeah,
say on Riot Guard this is stronger than a refractor crystal, but on Breacher it's weaker than a refractor crystal because
yeah.
you
Cause
can't abuse you
yep,
can't abuse cooldown with this because it has charges.
yeah. But
Charges.
it's still like it's super good. Not having it is a bad idea overall on blue classes.
Yeah, it's basically just a must-have. You should always take like Guardians. Half of Guardian's strength comes from this item because starting the game with a better refractor crystal is just silly, and it also
Yes.
affects your teammate in co-op, so
It
it's even
also
more
can
silly.
stack with health crates. If you like found a health crate, you should like it will stack it. It will stack its percentages. So
The only
like
thing to be careful about this thing is that it procs poison at higher difficulties. This isn't a huge deal because the
yeah,
effect is so powerful, and if you use it at the correct moment, it's always going to save you more HP than poison will take
yes,
away. But it's still don't spam this. Like
yeah.
don't spam this.
And
It's
poison
poison.
won't kill you because like if it's not radiation like from the event it wouldn't kill you
Yeah,
because
it'll leave you at 1 HP.
yeah.
But just generally speaking, don't spam this. Only use it in
In
important situations.
yeah, if when you're like when you get shit on, press this and kill everything because that's just a balance item.
Or like if you're getting like charged by multiple ions, like there's
Yeah.
no way you're gonna survive that without methadone. So
Okay, next item. Let's go to next item.
this isn't Guardian, so it makes it worse because it's competing with the best starters in the game,
Yeah,
but
cause
it's not good in general.
it's it's bad. Like it's straight up trash. Like
Shooting your
cause
shields, even though it doesn't apply shield delay, so your shield will start regenerating immediately after you use this. But stripping your shields is never a good idea. Like shields are an incredibly powerful stat, that, especially on breacher, that are very, very, very important for your survivability. Um, this thing also has a very small AoE. You have to be like right next to an enemy
yep.
to deal damage with it, so it's even worse because you can't just like sit behind a wall and use it because it doesn't have a big enough AoE. You have to actually get near enemies, and being near
Yes.
enemies with no shield is a really bad idea. There are many, many enemies that can just one shot you.
Yeah.
Shields one.
Also, because of the shield, like there's no delay for shield recharge. It'll start recharging right away, and enemies will like destroy it like straight away. So it's fucking useless. Also, yeah, you can use shielded to like reset your shield quickly, but it just doesn't worth it. You're better off just starting with fucking math, stun, or rebuke system, early rebuke system. Like there's nothing good
Yeah,
about
like
this
like
item.
like I said, it starts in Guardians, so it's like super
Yeah,
bad by
like
default
why?
because
It's
you have to compete with the best items in the game, like
yeah.
the best stars in the game. So whenever you're an item in Guardian, you have a very high expectation to live up to.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just heard like the ringing noise, like the message noise on your
Yeah,
part. My bad.
not that's not my phone. That's someone else's.
Okay. Okay. Let's continue. Uh,
Okay, so
it's just overall a bad item because you have a better alternative to start with. So like, there's no point in taking
like
it.
like it's bad by default. It's not good by default, and there's like such powerful alternatives. It's like
Yes.
why would you
Yes.
take it?
So it's just useless.
Uh,
Next, flashbang. Uh,
Very good item, but it's less. It's not a twitch. It's not really obvious why this item is good.
yeah.
The reason why this item is good is because it has a massive AOE that
Yes.
can be applied to a wall. So what this item is really good at, because like the effect, it slows down enemies and gives them more spread. So enemies start like being way less
Yeah.
accurate while
It's
they're
like
affected by this.
the heavy gunner
Yeah,
compared
it's
to
basically the same status effect as Heavy Gunner's built-in status, but
yes,
the reason why this thing is good is because both Assassin and Sniper have trouble with big groups of enemies. Big groups of enemies have a lot of projectiles that can easily overwhelm their dodge and plating, right? Because like
yes,
massive amounts of projectiles are the
yeah,
biggest
yeah, yeah.
weaknesses of these mechanics. What this does in big groups, it affects every single enemy because the AoE is massive. This will always hit like an entire
Yes,
group at once
yeah, yeah.
and it
It's
makes those enemies unable to hit you accurately. So it buys you a lot of time to get away from the big groups. And
or kill it faster without like
yeah,
risking
yeah,
that much.
yeah.
It's
Like
overall a
it
good item.
basically just a guaranteed escape because the slow is very significant and it's very long duration. It also is incredibly good for dealing with big groups of enemies because neutering their accuracy gives you a lot more durability. Because like
Yes,
multiple, this can make multiple ions or nemesises unable to hit you for a long time. So this is really good against big groups. But the damage is capped at 2k damage, and it's from max health damage, so it doesn't even always do 2k. So if you're looking for a damage item, this is not a damage item. This is just
but
basically,
give me this thing can strip shields and plagues from enemies, and that's why
yeah,
it's
it always strips one plating, which is really good.
yes, and also like fully strips shields like no matter what. I think is it? I think it
I
does.
don't think it I don't think it works like stun grenade. I think it just the 2k damage is usually enough to strip a
Okay, true.
shield.
Okay, but it's overall a good item. I don't use it because I just stupid and I get flash and I flash myself more
Oh
often
yeah,
than
yeah.
this.
You
So
also another thing people should know. You can look away from where you're
yes,
dropping this to avoid the flash. You don't need
yeah,
to be behind a
yeah,
wall. You
yeah. I
just
know
need to
that,
be
but
like it's like CS:GO. Just look away.
yeah, but it's still like it still can flash you, and like if you like look into the like right or left, and like and you like not like
Like if you're not perfectly looking away, it can still
yes, it
flash
can
you. Yeah,
flash. It's overall a good
but
item. I just don't like it because I just don't like it. But it's a good item.
yeah, I think this is mandatory in both classes, in my
Yes.
opinion, because they have no good options for big groups without it. Like not consistently, they can't deal with big groups without
Yeah, but
this.
I just don't like. I just think
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Mojo is more
it's
fun.
preference. It's
Yeah.
preference, but
Okay, stun grenades. We already talked about it. It's just a good
the
item.
the
It's
best item in the game, basically. There's
no,
no item.
I would
I
argue.
would say this is top tier even amongst like dropped items. I think this is that good.
Okay, I'm not. I'm okay. It's a good item because like stun like for like 3 seconds I think, or how much is it?
I don't know what the stun duration is, but it's usually enough to kill anything before it can respond once it's stunned. It automatically strips shields, so it's good against stuff like shield drones because it gives you like if your weapons are shit against shields, you can if
Plasma.
you time it correctly. You have to time it correctly because
Yeah, because they can
sometimes
still like refresh it.
the
Like
shield drones can refresh their shields even while they're stunned. So
yeah,
you need to use this immediately after they use their shield
and
refresh
also
ability.
stun grenades grunts like stacks your
Yeah,
cores. So
yeah,
this
yeah. This is also really strong with scales. The stacking scales with item power at around 300%, it will give Breacher 5 stacks of his passive instantly. So this is good for looping with Breacher because it gives you a method of getting your 5 stacks without having to dash next to enemies and killing yourself. So always take this on Breacher. It's pretty much non-negotiable. I think you should always take it on Riot Guard, but you can take RVU over it on Riot
yeah,
Guard if you want, because you actually
it's
have to.
yeah, it's fine on it. Okay, plasma grenade. Uh, I
It's
don't.
basically a shittier HE grenade,
Yeah,
which is
it's not
basically
good. I think like the green classes have like better options instead of this.
yeah, way better
I mean
options.
Steam Pack and the what was it, is and the Rod Flare are much better than Plasma Grenade in all cases. Because Rod Flare just gives you damage and accuracy, and like it's like 3 to 6 second buff time. There's like it's good, and Steam is straight up like a rage mode when you can kill
Sim
anything.
is basically just starting with like a discount refractor.
Yeah, it's the nothing, not anything is discounted factor. The rod
I mean,
flares are good.
Okay, but basically, let's review the item itself and
Okay,
not the item
okay,
attributes. So
okay, okay.
basically, this is just a shittier HE grenade.
Yeah,
If you're like a brainlet and you think HE grenade cheesing is an actually like good idea and not like an extremely slow and boring plan, but you can use this to just cheese things by forcing them to group up into like and if you use this on a location, enemies will go to the explosion instead of going to you. It's not like the next item on the list; it will actually attract enemies to its exploding. it attracts enemies to the explosion itself. So you can use this to group enemies like on top of each other, and then like try to like attack them and like burst them with high AoE options like shock impulse or something. But it's generally not worth taking unless you are actually wanting to play like an hour-long run and just cheese everything with
For
grenade
like just
explosions.
to make it to the first LD fight, not like looping.
Yeah, because in grenade cheesing becomes way less viable because enemies
Can spawn
like
towards like near you and just like straight up.
there's many times where you spawn into a loop level where enemies will like basically everything on the map aggroes onto you immediately, and
Yeah,
this doesn't do anything if enemies already aggroed onto you. So I would never try to use grenade cheesing in loop because it's not consistent. If you're thrown into a bad situation, it won't do anything for you, and you need like in those situations you need another item. You need a strong item to deal with those scenarios, and if you only have 6 item slots, because like this is useless in those situations, you can just die for no reason. But if you just want to cheese things, sure, you can use it. It's a decent cheesing tool, I guess.
it's not even like that. It's overall like a mediocre damage tool. Like it will be like recycled like sooner or
It's just
later.
it's just there. It's just that there to cheese like HE grenade cheese. It's basically
Yeah,
just starting the game with an HE grenade. Okay, next item. Acid grenades.
I don't like this
This
weapon. I don't
this
like it.
thing is basically only good for killing turrets. It's not good for anything else. If it's not like acid, it's not like plasma grenade. The explosion will not draw enemies to the explosion itself. It will draw enemies to your exact location. So using this at any time is basically just going to make enemies aggro on you. This can be used to your advantage because you can like make enemies like charge you in a single file line and blow them up with like demo explosives,
Yeah,
but it's usually not. It's usually just there. It's literally just only useful for killing turrets, which is
yeah, and
usually not the most useful thing in the world because most turrets can be easily outranged and they're shot at from max distance and they can't do anything against you. So having something to deal with turrets is now not that important. It's DOT instead of burst damage, which is like
not good.
there's exactly one turret in the game that needs to die ASAP, and it's called the laser turret, the laser Gatling turrets, and this thing won't kill those things immediately. It takes time to kill them, so even against the threatening turrets, this won't save you. This was only good for getting rid of shit ahead of time, but generally speaking, most turrets aren't really worth dedicating an item
Yes,
slot for.
and the acid pool that it spawns can also like poison you, so it's not even that good.
Yeah,
So
you can also kill yourself, but it's like hard to see the acid pools in certain maps. Like
yeah,
certain maps, you can't see the green that well, so you can just kill yourself just walking over it like an idiot.
yeah, it happened to me like once I think. It overall like it's fine if you find it. You can like proc it one and then recycle it because it's not good. It generates heat. It's useless. Damage over time isn't a good mechanic overall because enemies will aggro towards you and like yeah, it's not good.
It's just there for turrets, basically, nothing
Yeah,
else.
but you can just kill turrets on your own, so it's not that good either.
You can just kill them by standing at max range.
Yeah,
Like,
okay. This item is bad. Let's move on. Steam pad.
okay, next item. This is the second best item that commandos can start with.
Yes.
It is basically starting the game with a discount refractor. Like, because of commandos having iframes and their dashes, and this thing giving you dash cooldown, this can be seen as like a weaker refractor because it can give you a lot of time, a
Yeah.
lot of invincibility time. But it also has offensive applications. It gives you damage, fire rate, and it also gives you movement speed, which is the best stat in the game. So this is like basically an I win button. You pop this and you are extremely strong for 10 seconds. It has a very high cooldown, even higher on heavy gunners, so you can't really spam it that hard.
It's
But
1.3 like minute and a half on heavy gunner. Just so you know, that's fucking stupid. I hate it. Like 100%. It's 1.5 minutes on a fucking heavy gunner. That's just stupid. I hate this.
you can hard upgrade this
Yeah,
on.
but like, dude, on 250, it's like it's 1 minute without like without the what was it the
Yeah,
backpack CD. What was the weapon that gives you like
I know, I
multiple?
know they are 15. I know
Yeah,
it's weaker. I mean, I wouldn't say it's weaker on heavy gunner because heavy gunner has way more iframes than
yeah,
raiders.
but
So
still, it's like
even with the way worse cooldown, it's
yeah,
more impactful when you pop it on heavy gunner than
yeah,
when you
because
pop it on
it
raid.
takes so long to recharge. Oh, okay, it's overall a good item.
It,
Like
it's one of the best items
yeah,
that Commandos can start with. I would recommend always starting with this. There's literally only one item in Commandos inventory that's better than this.
It's
So
about
if you
later. We're gonna go to this later.
yeah,
Also, I like it's funny how the breacher starts with like Stimpack
yeah, Breacher
buff.
gets this. Breacher gets this entire effect whenever he goes into a new level, which is one of the reasons why Breacher is one of the best speedrunning classes because
Yeah,
you get 20 seconds of stim packs whenever you.
you're dude. Hello.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, you just like cut off. So you were just saying it's a good class, but he just starts with Stimpack. Okay,
Yeah,
Seller. Let's go to the next one. Seller Pressure. It's good. Even in loop, it can still heal you, but it can proc poison. So I just don't like it because it's not
it's
as
also
good.
outclassed. It's outclassed by
Yes.
like, a sniper and assassin already have good sustain.
Yeah,
Sniper from his
it just
headshot.
outclassed. It just outclassed by the smoke grenades and flashbang. And if overall, the module, if you don't like both, like if you don't like the flash, would be better than Cellar Replacer because it'll just be better.
Like Cell Replacers, like basically like Overdose, where it's like training wheels for the classes. If you're
Yeah,
not good at the classes, it's good to help you start playing them, but it's generally speaking outclassed. On higher difficulty, it can poison you, which means it doesn't even like heal you to full. You just lose all the HP it heals you for.
yeah,
Um, Generally speaking, it's not really worth it over the alternatives, and especially since the classes you can take this on already have good healing. Like Sniper and Assassin have no issue going back to full HP, even in the Sniper in particular has incredible sustain and has no issue going from like 1 HP to full HP in like 2 floors. So there's no real reason to ever take this,
yeah,
except if you're not good at Sniper and you want to like start practicing sniper because sniper is a hard class, so like
yeah. If
having training wheels on the hardest class in the game is like definitely not like a bad
yeah,
idea. But
uh,
if you are comfortable with the classes, this is generally not useful. It's just outclassed. And
yes,
yeah, next item.
auto
And
taser.
this is basically just a shittier stun grenade.
It's just one
It's,
target stun
it's
grenade with damage. No, it's not good.
you can't control when it goes off because it always shoots.
Yes.
It always goes off at the start of a fight, which is not always optimal because sometimes you have to start a fight fighting weak enemies and then stronger enemies come in once you've like
Yeah.
aggroed them you're shooting.
Also, this thing
So
can miss, so it's not that
yeah,
good either.
it's like a bit
It's just
inaccurate
a
at
worse stun
times.
grenade overall. Like, it's outclassed by stun
It's
grenade.
it's just worse in every way compared to
Okay.
stun grenades. There's no reason to take it when stun grenades are a thing.
Next item. It's the best item Angie can have because this gives him
Yeah.
minus CD, boosts his shield, heals the
Yeah,
summons.
it has extreme synergy with all his
Yes.
talents and his
It's and
kits.
it's
So
also a good item because it can
as a
solo.
summon, it's quite good. I would say the DMR turret is stronger than this thing
No, no,
as
it's
like a summon itself, because
maybe.
DMR turret has like built-in piercing. This thing,
Okay, okay, then probably it
so
is because
it's
Pierce
like
is good.
its ability to deal with like big groups is
But
worse.
if it
But
no, I would argue because if this thing has a chance to summon like double, so it might be better like if it procs, you
yeah,
know.
but that's not consistent. That
Yes,
means
but it's dude, but it's funny. It's funny when it
but
when it
basically
procs.
this
It's so
is
good.
you can't there's no choice with this. You're always going to start it on NG. Never recycle this. This is
Yeah,
basically this is NG's entire purpose. Like even if you don't like doing summon builds, the 30% CDR whenever you proc it is way too good to pass up. You can use this to have really low cooldowns and stuff like refractor crystal and stuff like what's it called?
on the long city items overall.
Yeah, it's basically just all, like you can stuff like a low cooldown stuff like gliders on stuff
Yes.
like high
Also,
command.
this thing is so memey. Like on like 250 like plus, it has like less than 20-second cooldown. And I remember when I did double glider plus high command, I was spamming this, and the
Yeah,
gliders.
basically you can go through the entire game without shooting a gun, just
Yes,
spam
it was fucking
summon because
stupid.
it's a stupid thing. Okay, so next item. This is
It's
very bad.
yes, cause it has like 20-second CD. The damage is not
You,
good. It's like 175% per shot. It's not good. Yes, it has piercing, but it's outclassed by flashbang and the what was it? And the yes, and the smoke grenades. It's not
generally
good.
speaking, neither sniper nor assassin need assistance dealing damage. Both of
Yes.
them have good damage output. what they want from their items, defensive utility, because they start with like good defenses, but their items like make them nearly invincible if used correctly. So generally
Yes.
speaking, you lose too much compared to what you could have instead. This only kills like one or two enemies on
Yes,
like a
dude. So it's just
damage.
overall a bad item. But let's just
It's,
like do.
it's never really. It's
Yeah.
basically just the same reason why auto taser isn't good. Just
Yes.
very flexible and
Dude,
outclassed.
we need to speak about items quicker because it's gonna like be another 2 hours. It's gonna be.
It doesn't matter if it's not a 2 hour video. We
Uh,
just need be. We need to actually like mention everything this time
okay,
instead of just
true, true.
having
Cause
injuries. Like just being an idiot is not going to be effective. But
yeah,
okay, so Dragon's Master Key. This thing has a hidden effect in that it reduces your heat by 10 whenever you use it. So if you're trying to do like some Mimi Raptor build on Engineer, this is worth taking because it can help you sustain its heat. But otherwise, it's not a very good item because it can't pierce. The damage is mediocre. The dot is mediocre. It's hard for it to even kill a single tanky target. Like if you use this on like an Ion Trooper, there's no guarantee the
if you
Ion
use it
die.
on Riot Guard, it still can be
Yeah,
shitty.
even a Riot Guard can't even kill them in one go. So this is usually just only useful for the heat reduction. It has 10 minus heat. There's minus 10 heat every time you use it. So you know,
It's
it says
overall,
high.
it's
If
overall
you're
a
doing
bad.
a high, it's overall bad.
Yeah.
High heat build. This has utility. If you're doing Raptor, take this. If you want to use Raptor, always take this. Give you some sort of like consistency.
uh,
Okay, next item. This is probably one of the best items in the game.
yeah,
It's worse
probably.
now that it's plasma because plasma kind of like fucks it half the time,
Yeah,
but
cause like no shield damage, so good
still
luck.
it's still extremely strong.
Yeah, cause you can proc like what
Really
12k DPS, but like
something that people don't know is that every time you use this, you have minus 10 heat. So this thing can be very, very good for letting Raider use high heat weapons like the laser cannon very well. So this is more useful than it looks, like because minus 10 heat, which
yeah,
has a bug, especially since this is so spammable because it has like resets and whatnot.
yeah, but
So
like it's
and
not if you not
it's not worth resetting this,
yeah,
but if you want to use it for the heat generation instead of the damage,
yeah,
it's always the option. But basically, the way you use this is you take Madness on Raider, you spam upgrade this to like 300% or more, and this will basically give you an I win button. Like whenever you see a bunch of enemies grouped up, you like shoot them a bit with your main gun, you dash to them, and then you hit, and then you just use the knife. Everything dies, you dash back.
yes,
A few mechanics that you might not know is that, well, you should know this, but it's on the description, but it deals more damage the lower a target's HP is, so make sure before you go in for a knife, you always hit the enemy to like half HP or less.
yes,
And two, dashing always increases the damage. I think dashing increases the damage by like 20%,
yeah.
so it's all
I think it was like 30%.
never try using the blade without dashing. Dashing makes
No,
it way
it's in some scenarios
in some situations it's worth it. Like if an enemy's going around a corner, you can knife him through a
yeah,
wall and run
but
dash.
in some scenarios when like there's a big like group like like a fucking Congo line coming, you better
Yeah,
off try to like use it without a dash, so you might have an opportunity to
dash
retrieve.
away.
Yeah, so you
But you
want
have two dashes, so usually in my eyes, usually if you have saved your two dashes, you can dash in, kill everything, and then dash out. So usually it's fine to do
yeah, but
that. But
yeah, it's like a situational thing, so whatever.
another thing is this also benefits from Road Flare's damage boost, like the
Yeah, because
30 to 40
it
percent
straight up
boost.
gives you the damage stat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The boost from Road Flare benefits from this. So if you want to like one shot a massive group, you should be always popping Road Flare before going in because Road Flare gives you a huge damage boost on this thing. Another mechanic is that its damage scales with how many floors you completed. The more floors you complete, you get around 300 damage to the. I think it's the. I'm not sure if what the damage is to. I don't think it's to the floor. I don't know.
I have no
Basically,
idea about this because
the more floors you complete, every floor you complete, this gets around 300 more maximum damage, I believe. It could be 300 more minimum damage, but I don't
probably
think that's how.
minimum damage, because God, I have
But
no idea because I never like noticed that because I was like,
this thing scales the more floors you do. So it like the this will be completely useless when you first start the
probably
game.
maximum damage because I never like saw
Yeah,
it
it's
like,
probably maximum
yeah, because
damage,
like
but
I never don't notice it like it's stacked to like insane high, like insanely high damage because when you proc it, it's like halves the damage and I never like noticed
yeah,
this.
yeah. So the way you want to use this, okay, so early game is a bit useless, so don't ever try to like rely on this early game because it's going
Yeah,
to
it's like
take
300 damage per like per proc and no 200 damage per proc. It's useless if it's not a
it's
very
like
good.
800 max damage on floor one.
Yeah,
If you like have a
it's
low HP enemy, you have flares and you dash, it's like 800 damage. So early game is useless. The scale is extremely strong. Later on in the game, this thing can do over 10k in AoE. It doesn't have any like diminishing returns in AoE. Every single enemy gets hit for maximum damage. So
it's a good item. You should keep this.
it's good for scaling. Be careful with plasma damage type because enemies with shields don't take damage from it. So you need to shoot the shields off before you do anything. This gives you a bad matchup versus Chrono Troopers because Chronos have basically half their HP in shields and they will always be on top of you immediately. So try like against Chronos, this can be really scary. But
Okay, next let's go to next item because we're speaking about this way too long.
yeah, but
Okay,
it's like a little complicated. Okay, so this is not that good because
Outlast. It's
you
Outlast
can't
by
choose when to proc it. It
yeah.
procs on shot instead of procking on item usage, which means you can't choose when to use this, so it's not that good.
It's like role players, but straight up like worse because
It's strictly worse than role
yes,
players.
it's just a worse for role player and it's outclassed by the smoke and flashbang.
Yeah, so next item,
Smoke
just don't
grenade.
use. Okay, smoke grenade is the best item on either rogue. It is one of the most versatile items in the game. It has some of the most effects of any item on like a single item. This
Yes,
thing
because
gives you
it
more
gives you
dodge.
dodge. It's fully
Let
refreshes
me
your
just, let me
stream.
just, let me just list all
Okay,
the
okay,
effects.
okay.
Dodge chance. It gives you more iframes when you take HP damage. It refreshes your shields on use, refreshes your dash on use, and all enemies that are within the AoE get the flashbang effect on them. They have slower and they lose accuracy. So this thing has like 5 or 6 effects in one item. So it's basically a catch-all item. It does everything you want it to for assassin. It gives you defense. It gives you like burst defense by refreshing your shield. It gives you long-term defense by giving you iframes and a dodge chance. It gives you mobility because it instantly refreshes your dash, and it can even be used offensively to disorientate enemies and prevent them from hitting effectively.
Yes.
So it's just basic. It also has a low cooldown for in like 10, 20 seconds at 100%. It needs to go below 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's just good. Like there's nothing bad about this. You should always pick this on the rogue classes. If you're not picking this on the rogue classes, you're playing them wrong.
You are heavily missing out. Like your
Yes.
class of the calf is strong without smoke grenades.
Okay,
This
dagger.
is a good
I'm
early
gonna
game
speak about
item.
this because I
Fine.
am know how this thing fucking works. So it's like one of the best class items on assassin. Yes, you start with this. It's this thing can deal up to 1k damage first floor without like you just need to backstab things and it's quite easy. You just dash behind them. That's all. This also can help you to fully reload a mag in a weapon. Just pop a stealth dagger. Your mag is full. That's just overall a good item. It also can heal you for insane amounts of HP if you like later on in the run. It can still like when you're low HP. If you backstab a thing, it can heal up to 250 HP per hit for per one backstab. So it can
It's
like
based on missing
I'm
health
I'm
percent.
speaking. Yeah, give me a second. Also, this thing gives you I think free core stacks for assassin. So it's just good to spam it on the bosses in boss fights. It's just an overall good item. You should never recycle this.
Okay,
Safe.
so this thing starts off very strong early game. It's strong in boss fights. It has good. It makes the assassin have damage early game no matter what because you can spam this with smoke if
Yes.
you have the prestige. The issue with this is that in loop, it's almost never worth trying to melee things with this because you're
Yeah.
going to take more damage than you heal. So later on in the game, this becomes way less useful except for boss fights. It's very useful for boss fights because you can stack like 30 core stacks off just spamming this because every time you hit with it, it's 3 stacks. And it doesn't matter if you reset the cooldown with smoke grenade, every single hit will give you the maximum stacks for this. So you can easily get like 20, 30 stacks, which gives you a immense damage boost. So this is good early game. This is useful for making your early game more consistent. It's got a good heal for early game where Assassin is most vulnerable because he hasn't stacked dodge yet, and there aren't enough elites to spam his plating. So early game, this helps you a lot. Later on the game, this is mostly just a boss killer. Don't try to use this against mobs, and this will kill
Yeah,
you if you try.
it's better off on loop versus bosses, especially versus LD,
Yeah,
because you can just spam it on him, and he like you can hit like 250
you
per
can
hit.
just one shot him with this because like
Yeah,
50 stacks of this
dude,
plus
I
the rapid
remember when
fire.
like I did my demo discussion run of Assassin. This thing legit just saved my ass in like loop for LD. I was just spamming it, and I was hitting 250 per hit, and it was like 1.2 second CD. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. It's based off your missing HP,
yeah.
so
So when you're like extremely low
and
HP,
so this is also another reason why you want to stack HP on Assassin because
yeah,
Assassin has damage cap, but this is also missing HP, so it's percentage. If you have like
yeah,
4k HP and you're low HP, this can easily give you like an incredible amount of HP per
yeah.
hit. So
It's straight up good. Like there's nothing bad
okay,
about it.
next item. Next item. This is basically
It's
demos.
demo's bread and butter. If you're not using this demo, you're like, how do you play this class without this?
I would say this item is really good, but like with searching weapons, this isn't even necessary. With like M32 and Annihilator, you don't even have to press this anymore because of much
You
damage.
can press it to make even more ear rape.
It makes it more consistent,
Yeah,
basically.
dude,
Like this makes all
it
your
just ear rape button. Like
this is how you finish enemies off after you hit them with explosions. If they live your initial explosion, you can use this to finish them off. You can use this for cheesing with HE grenades because you can activate HE grenades, enemies will run to the explosion, but the explosion area will have one of your marks on it, so you can use this when enemies bunch up to just blow them up, but that's extremely wasteful of the resonator charges, and it's generally not worth using.
I
It's not
just
worth
spam
it.
them all the time, and I win most of the time. So and
Yeah,
also
yeah,
it's just
it's just there to give your explosives more consistency. Like
yes,
if your
and to make it more
explosives don't
fun.
kill something,
It's just a good
if your
thing.
explosives, if your initial explosives don't kill anything, this will finish them off most of the time.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's just
there's nothing to say. Just
it just
shoot explosive weapon, then press RMB. Like it's
yes,
not very hard to use. It's pretty
yeah, it's
brainless.
good. Next item.
This is a very strong item, and this is
But
what
it
makes
has
it
a big
great.
flaw in it. You can't take plugins. So
Yeah, yeah. This gets way worse than loop. Even though you would think 400 HP that's not like mitigated by loop, that would be so strong. It just enemies in loop can easily overpower this. Even if you go
yeah,
like triple overclockers and try to like spam a bunch of fucking overclock, you just like spam like
summons.
10k HP from this. Like a loop 3 ball bot can like hit you for 10k HP just casually. So this basically does nothing in loop. Like in deep loop, this starts becoming useless, but it's very useful early game. This is extreme. This is the using this item correctly is how you get to has how you become durable as engineer. Like if you can't use this as engineer, you always feel like engineer sucks early game. So you need to learn how to use this item for you to learn how to use engineer. Early game and pre-loop in general, this is basically like the best damage mitigating item. Like every time you're about to take damage, just press this and you suddenly just don't take damage. It refreshes your shields and it also gives you 400 HP and fire rate every time you use this. This can also be used to use summons like gliders because you can make gliders effectively live forever with this, and you can
And also it
stack
it
gliders
stacks
over.
their fire
And
rate
this also has permanent fire rate
summons.
on summons until they die. So
It's funny. It's really funny. It's
like you can turn a glider into like a killing machine, just spamming this over and over again, and the glider will never die because of his shield and whatnot. But overall, this is literally the entire soul of engineer learning how to play
but
engineer.
I would recommend it to recycle it on like loop, like on the like half point on loop one.
Like loop two, I would recycle
Yeah,
this in.
like half point loop one, loop two. You need to recycle this because otherwise you're going to die. You're going to actually. I did this in my run.
Not having plating is unworth it at
Yeah,
that
it's
point.
not worth
Because
it.
enemies just do too much damage. Like ions do like 4k damage per hit with
Yeah,
like a 3k bleed or something silly. Like
yeah.
you can't even if you. There's also a okay. Let's stop talking about that. Let's talk about one more thing. There's currently a glitched build. There's currently a bug build that you can stack 3 overclockers on engineer and spam them over and over again. and basically just have like infinite HP and infinite rate of fire, well, to a certain point. But this is an extremely easy to use build because like you just brute force everything with like 10k HP, but it's one going to get nerfed by the time like this video is probably like a few weeks away from
No,
triple.
no, it's like 3 days, man, maybe even less.
I'm saying like triple overclockers are gonna get removed like super super soon. So anyone who's
Yeah,
abusing this, have fun abusing this while it lasts. It's still not good in loop. Like triple overclocker doesn't do anything like deep loop because loop 3 ions just murder you through it.
yeah,
But
like you don't have plating, like bye, mate. If you don't have plating, you're gonna
like
get
in my
murdered.
opinion, triple overclocker is super easy to use, but it's outclassed by a proper item build. Like you can start strong, but you're gonna be it's optimal to just recycle the
Dude, I
overclocker.
just understand. So whenever I play NG, I always get what I want. Like ooh, here's a
Yeah,
drone spawner. Ooh, here's a high command, and
yeah.
that's just silly. Okay, next one. Special ammo
Okay,
supply.
so
I don't think it's like even useful because it's outclassed by everything else, and what it is and what it does, it's not even like that useful. What do you think?
it's just a shittier version of field supply that doesn't heal you.
Yes, and it also like yeah, it gives you like some buffs, but those buffs doesn't like worth it.
The heat reduction can be useful on certain weapons, but I would never pick this over road flare or stimpaks.
Yeah, it's just outclassed and it doesn't like worth
Outclass
any.
in comparison. It doesn't really do anything that's that special. Like the heat reduction is nice, but Raider has his knife to reduce heat with. Like Raider knife can reduce a shit ton of heat if you channel correctly. Heavy Gunner has, he starts with special. He starts with what's the special kit called?
I like it's just I don't know, it's just yellow
He
kit.
starts with a yellow kit that gives him 20% heat reduction on whatever weapons he uses it on. So
It's
this
just
isn't actually like that useful. Like it just both classes have ways to sustain their ammo and heat that don't really require you to take this, and it would be okay if the alternatives didn't exist.
yeah, it's but they exist in the settings or just it just doesn't
It's
need
just
it.
outclassed in
Yeah.
comparison.
Okay,
Okay,
next one.
spider mines. These are basically a shittier version of missile drones,
Yes,
but
I
they
fully agree. It's
they
just
can't kill you as easily as missile drones can, but they're not
missile
bad.
drone can't even kill you if you like
Missile drones can kill you super easily.
dude,
It's probably one of the easiest ways to die friendly
I don't know,
fire
cause
from.
I never died to Mistler, cause I just bat him on the enemies, cause he can, cause Missile Drone just spawns on the on the mouse.
I
But it's
know,
and
but
also it won't explode like in like if it's not like 2 seconds in. So it's overall just the worst missile drone in all cases.
the AI is also retarded on these things. The AI can be
Yeah,
like,
it's
it
just
can like,
bad.
it can like sit there AFK not doing anything. Like they are
Yeah,
extremely consistent,
yeah,
extremely
it's just a
boring.
bad item. You just better just pick a missile drone. It'll be
There's,
a
there's
better tank in
exactly
summon.
there's exactly the one time where I pick these, and that's if you're going for like a laser sub build, because these can spawn a lot of entities. These can like if you have high luck or whatnot, you can get a shit ton of spiders to spawn off these, so you can farm those spiders for laser sub stacks. But outside of that, I would never use this.
It's just a bad item overclassed by missile drone. Okay, next thing, decoy.
Bad,
Useless. It's
bad,
useless.
bad.
Yes.
Don't pick this. It's
Okay.
not worth it. It does
Yeah.
barely anything.
It doesn't work as a slot. It just doesn't work as a slot.
Yeah, it's not worth using this, and just
It's
like
bad.
don't.
It just spans a decoy that tanks a hit. It's useless. You better just take in a like another item or just recycle it for cash. That's all it's good for.
Okay, Tomahawks. It can do good damage. It's fun as fuck to use. I think this is one of the funner items in the game,
Yeah,
but
it just like kunais, but it's
yeah. The issue is it's in Guardian. Guardian has the best starter items in the game, and
yeah.
This thing is not nearly as good as
Yes.
Stun Grenade, Rebuke System, or Methadon,
Yeah,
which makes it just curses it to never be used. You can use this if you want to have fun, because these are really, really fun items, but if you ever use these on Guardians, you're basically throwing away half your kit's power, so
yeah, it's just our class, but it's funny to use. That's how sad it is.
okay, targeting laser. There
Bread and
isn't
butter
anything.
of sniper.
there's literally nothing to say about this
It's
item.
just a laser. That's what it does. It just
Yeah,
increases your anchor
it's
accuracy, and
brain
it
dead. Press R&B to get accuracy. The only thing I can say about this thing is don't use it in boss fights. There's no reason to ever touch this in boss fights because
yes,
bosses are big enough for you to hit them no matter what,
yeah,
and slowing your movement speed down is going to just get you killed in bosses.
yeah.
So,
It's overall just a bad habit to use it on the boss fights. That's all.
yeah, yeah, like never, like just try to not touch this in boss fights.
Yeah.
That's the only skillful thing about this item. Just that's the only thing you have to manage. Just don't touch it in boss fights. It's fine to use it constantly outside of boss fights, but don't use it in bosses.
Okay. Next thing.
Next item. This is actually fucking useless.
Yes, it is. You better off if you find this thing, recycle, cause it's useless. It's just a spawns.
30% chance to block a hit is not very favorable when those hits do a shit ton of fucking damage. This is
Also,
just
it's overall a bad item, cause yeah, it sounds cool, like oh, it's a 30% chance, but you need to be at the perfect angle to like block a hit. Cause if you just a little bit far enough, it wouldn't consider a cover, so it's not good. You better off just recycle
also
it.
it also doesn't do anything versus like rockets and
Yeah.
missiles.
And also, it also like it has stacks. Like how does it? I don't think I don't remember. I think it has stacks.
Oh, doesn't it explode when it dies? I think this explodes when it dies, doesn't it?
I actually don't remember because this item is
If
just
it
so bad.
explodes when it dies, that means it can also get you killed if you get hit by like a fucking rocket or something and it blows it up. Okay,
Yeah,
just this is basically a meme item. Use this if you want to like do maximum memeage or take cover or something. That's not like
yeah,
one module that gives you bonuses for sitting next to the cover.
yeah.
Just use it for memes. It's not good.
It's just you better just running away than using this item and trying to like block. You better just like actually like running away. There's nothing good about
Okay.
this. Okay.
Next item. This thing after the buffs, this is actually good now. I don't think
Yeah.
this is it's worth using all times. Before the buffs were like killed your movement speed
Yeah,
using this.
it was minus 10% previous. Now it's minus 5%
It
movement
also
speed.
it also has like better scaling with routine now. Like routine works way better on it now. Like it's a good this is good. This is
It's
basically
bread and
on
butter of
yeah.
the heavy gunner. That's all you can say about this.
Use it with automatic weapons for best results.
Yeah.
But
Otherwise, it's just useless. Okay, next one, because we can. It's just a bread and butter of.
there's nothing to say about Onslaught.
Yes.
Just use it when you want to use it. Careful. The only thing I can say about this is be careful in loops. You don't want to spam this because using this in a bad situation can mean since you can't cancel this, and especially if you get a jam and you clear the jam and you get like a 10-second onslaught. Using this in bad situations, like being flanked by ball bots, is basically death. So if you're doing loops with heavy gunner, you need to be more conservative when you use this. You can't just do what you do pre-loop and just spam this on cooldown.
Also, you need to be more
Try
careful, because like the heavy
yeah,
gunner is if you don't have the like IR-15, the higher CGs, and it's gonna be
yeah.
also a big deal.
So if you're a noob, don't spam this. Make sure you use it at good situations. Don't like use it willy nilly because this can get you killed when you're rushed by dangerous enemies like
Yeah, and also
gliders,
if you win, you need to use.
ions, ball
Yeah.
bots rushing you while you're in onslaught and you can't shoot them because they're
Yeah.
coming from like a different angle. Okay, that's just terrible. So never, just be careful with this in noob
Yes.
is all I'm saying.
Next one,
Okay, so
message run. It's overall a good starting summon if you need a summon. It can be used on demo on the and the NG because NG can spawn it on the right on the enemies. Same with demo. And demo can just spawn the missile drone and press R&B to win. That's all. It's
yeah.
overall it's an okay.
Okay. I've discovered a new build for this in co-op. This thing actually works extremely well with Breacher. This thing, if you like spawn
Oh
like
yeah,
two, if you bring two of these as engineer, you can basically give Breacher Akira from the start of the game. Like it's
yeah,
basically the same thing as running around with Akira if you're playing co-op and engineer spawns two of these. Because the way Breacher passive works is that he procs the explosion movement speed off the missiles flying. He doesn't need the missiles to explode. Like if you go right next to the missile when it's like flying at an enemy, you still get the movement speed and cooldown reduction. So in co-op, if you want to do like breach your engineer, spawning with two missile drones is actually extremely good because you basically just give breacher fucking Akira from the start of the game. But that's basically it. It's a very fun co-op build if you want to try it out. But usually this is just a middle of the pack item.
yeah.
There's nothing really better in engineer and like other than field supply. There's not really anything better than missile drone.
Yeah.
So you're gonna use it most of the time anyways. But
I
ge-
or you'll use the module other this.
yeah, the
It's
random
just
margin. That's
preference.
what I do. That's what I do. It's
Yeah,
up to
same.
you. I don't like using missile drone because it gets me killed half the time.
I
But
just don't like it because it dies quickly. That's all. But it's overall a good summon if you like. If you want it, you can use it. It's a good item to use.
okay,
Okay.
so I've never used Guardian Info in my life because I don't have it unlocked. So
I use it like it's just sponsor right guard. It's just a summon. That's all.
it's bas-
It's just it's okay. But I think it's just a summon. That's all. There's nothing
it's
special
basically
about it.
just like a shittier glider, right? Like
No,
just
it's
more.
just it's slow. I think it's better. You better just use missile drone to be honest than guardian.
Something good. Next one, the Chino Bomb. I haven't used this at all either. I
I
think this
used it
is
like
what
8 times. It's useless. It has like 5 second start off, and the area effect damage is not good. It just a Doomba, but like worse because it's like 5 seconds CD. 5 seconds start off. So you need to charge in, place this, go back, and then it will explode if enemies will still stay there. If it worked like
you could probably meme this in tactical. Like you start
yes,
with
yes,
stun grenades.
it can be
You
memed
like,
with the raider. It can be a meme thing. But
yeah,
if it worked like the like C4, it would be so much better. But otherwise, it's just trash.
yeah, like you can meme this with stun grenades. Like if you go like
Yeah.
tactical, you can start stun grenades have like a 9 second cooldown. So if you stun something, you go in, you drop neutrino, you walk away, and then they just get blown to bits. But
Uh,
it's good.
Also, damage on it, it's not even that good.
Usually C4 is just strictly better
Yeah,
than this.
it's just really bad because you can control it.
Okay,
Okay,
so next chaos function. This is you basically want to use this immediately whenever you get it. There's spam it for
it's
the health regen.
plus 4 HP regen. That's all.
It's pretty good because now that HP regen has is actually useful in loop now because healing has a cap now.
Of
So
20.
yeah, +4 is basically like with starting +2 and you got that +4, you will have around 1 HP regen in loop, which is better than it sounds because having some form of sustain in loop is very important now because like being able to sustain back from lower HP to high HP is really good because it means you won't get one shot from the next fight. So
It's good.
say
It's just
it's
good
I
to
would
spam it.
say it's not really like something that matters. This is not an item that matters because
Yeah,
you're
but
just gonna
if you
use
found it that's good, you can spam it and get plus 4 HP regen from nothing.
just be careful with poison basically.
Yeah.
There's not much to say about this. Use it immediately, get the HP regen, and just forget about it.
Yes. Okay. Health file. I
I,
legit don't
I've
remember.
never used this. I
I
don't
got
even
it
know.
12 times and I don't remember what it does. Legit. I have no
I
idea.
think this has been removed from the game or
Yeah,
something.
I'm sure it was removed from the game because
Yeah,
I was picking it up like when I when I dropped the game like a year ago or something like no like a year and a half ago.
I have no idea what this is. I can't comment on it.
It just like
So,
gives you HP and that's all. I think
let's just go. Maybe when this gets re-implemented or
yeah
something stupid.
probably because I just don't remember what it does.
Stable current. This is an inconsistent item that can be very, very strong. It needs luck scaling to be good because the
But
cooldown
this
is.
thing can when it goes to the 100%, I think it's still
It can't
possible.
go to 100% anymore because track nerf that can only go 75% now.
Oh, but it's still like a insanely
It's
fun
still very,
and good
it's still
item.
very. It's a counter to Chrono Troopers. Not a perfect counter because Chrono
Yeah,
Troopers are
they
broken.
can still like shoot you because they're stupid. But it's overall a good and fine item to use. If you
Yeah,
find it, it's
it's cheap. It's very cheap.
yes.
440 at early shops. Very, very cheap. Very good item. Just needs some scaling to get good. It's basically more consistent. Like the other current, if you want to know what the difference between this and the other current is, this thing needs luck scaling and is worse without luck scaling, but is stronger when you have the luck scaling.
Yes. Otherwise, it's you better off having the other currents. But
Yeah, if you're not,
it's still a good
it's
one.
not that. Yeah, it's just a solid item in general. Okay, next
Yeah.
item upgrade kits. There's nothing really.
Skip because it's a fucking kit. What can
Please,
you?
please don't upgrade these. These are not worth putting
Okay.
credits into. It's never worth putting credits into. Please don't fucking do it. You get a chance to get more of them, and you
It's
also
never
get
worth it. It's never worth it.
like you also get some more damage stat when you've got its max. But please don't put the credits. Unless you're playing Raider, you don't have enough credits for it is to ever be a good idea. Like if
Yes.
you're playing
Otherwise,
Raider,
it's no. Don't waste your time on breaking this.
It's only
Just
it's only, it's only something you should consider if you're playing Raider and you have like 999 credits and you don't have and all your items are maxed or something. Like
yeah,
just
like but dude, item maxing will happen like at loop 10 at least, you know.
No, on Raider it happens like loop
Well, I
2
mean,
if you
like,
get.
yeah, it's gonna take some time. What is the
I'm
maximum?
just saying if you're
6 feet?
playing Raider, you can consider it. If you're playing
Yeah,
Raider, consider it. But other than that, no.
yeah, okay.
Overviron, this thing is really
Install
bad.
recycle, I think, because it's overall a bad
Don't,
item. It can
don't
stand you
use
for a
it.
long
It's just
time.
going to kill you. It's just going to get you killed. This
Yeah.
thing has probably the worst effect when you get friendly fired by it because it stuns you for like half a second. Just
No,
don't.
more, like 2 seconds at least.
It's like a meme item. It's the worst friendly fire thing in the game because it stuns you. Just it's very.
Also, the worst orb there is. Also, like, it's overall a bad item. You better off just recycle it when you like, if you don't have platings. That's it.
Yeah, it gives you like two plating, so at least it does
Yeah,
something.
I personally think it's just a much worse Ripjack, because Ripjack
Yeah.
like Hyperblade is just so much better than this.
Okay, next item. This is top tier item. One of
Yes.
the three meta items of the game right now. This thing is extremely cheap for how powerful it is. Again,
Yeah.
only 440.
It's double damage essentially. That's nothing
It's
bad.
double damage and double AoE.
Yes.
Like double AoE, double damage. Best used with high rate of fire weapons. They don't have to be super high rate of fire, but like above around 400 or more. Like M32, which has like pretty mild rate of fire, can use this
It can
thing very
spam. It can be
effectively.
spammed with this, and you can just insta kill everything else.
Yeah,
Everything
like
moves.
M32, Higgs can all be used very effectively with this, and those guns don't have like the highest rate of fire ever,
Yeah.
so you don't need to have like just basically don't use it with sniper rifles, and you're fine. Like
Yeah.
anything that's like good spammable, can use this very effectively. It has extreme synergy with other items, which we'll talk about later. But
Yeah. Like two items. Like.
this is generally speaking one of the best items in the game, and should
Yes.
always be prioritized if you can.
Yeah. But I personally
Okay,
like. I just never have like a slot for it, because I just want a meme more than like than have like.
rather than try.
Yeah, because memeing is more like enjoyable
There's
for me.
literally never a time where you can't have a slot for it because like it's better than anything else in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So next
It's,
item, HE grenade. We already explained this with plasma grenades. You can
yeah,
use
it's
this with
just a
cheese.
grenade. It's good bonus DPS DPS source if you need it, but spamming like going to, like for it, like just trying to get the.
It's like it's for the cheesing. You know the cheesing, right? Like where
Dude,
you
yeah,
like
no,
make it.
I like tried doing it, but it was so boring. I just like said, fuck it, I'm gonna like pop one and like and go right in. That's all. It's good for bonus DPS and like enemy
Yeah,
like.
it's basically a crutch. If you're bad at the game and you don't think loop is possible with skill alone,
No,
like if you
no,
think you're
dude.
like
This thing can be used like outside of cheating. It can be used like on
I
damage.
I'm just saying this. The main key reason people think this is good is just for the cheese and
Yeah, and the
like
cheese isn't
if
doing
you
good.
need a crutch, if you aren't skilled, like not skilled, like if you're not experienced with the game, if you aren't comfortable with the harder parts of the game, and you think you need to use a crutch to win, then by all means use this. I wouldn't recommend trying to cheese with this that hard because
It's
it
not
doesn't let
fun.
you learn. It doesn't let you learn how to play the game
Yeah,
well. Like you're
and it's
not
just
going to improve while cheesing with this
and
item.
boss
You might
fights will fuck you in the ass.
like and like you won't even it won't even be that good. Like you'll feel like the game's RNG because you're gonna go into like situations where HE grenade can't save you. You're gonna be like whining. Oh my god, loop is so poorly designed because I can get in situations where enemies always aggro on me and I can't cheese them with HE grenades. And it's like
But loops
no, you
is
brought
purely designed because they weren't like it was like
they're
working.
not they're not that poorly designed
Dude,
anymore. Like after
anymore. But like, remember how dark that was like before, and it was just a fucking
I
boss
don't
rush.
think it was that bad. I think it was fine. I don't think
It was
loop's
a
ever
fucking
been
boss
like,
rush, dude. It sucked dick.
all right, you're bad. Shut up. Now, okay.
Heavy steel
Now,
trap.
now, basically, like what I'm trying to say here is, like, if you think you need to use HE grenades to beat loop, just stop using them and actually learn how to play it. Because I can tell you from experience, all you need is like
Get good.
skill. Like all you need is just to be comfortable. You just need to play it over and over again until you understand how it works. It's not something that's impossible by any means.
Yeah, it's just you
It's
just need to
quite.
get good. That's all. Okay,
You don't even
let's
need next item. Okay, heavy steel trap. This is meme item. This is fucking useless.
yes. Otherwise,
It's terrible. I
it's
don't
bad.
think I have to explain to anyone watching why this isn't good. I think anyone who ever used this in their life even once is not going to like it. It's just there to troll you in tactical. It's literally just there to troll you in
Yes,
tactical.
yes,
That's
I'm
it.
fully agreed. It's so bad and tactical. Like it's like getting this instead of the of C4 is just bad because the area of effect potential of this item is so much worse than C4. Damage potential is so much worse. It's just a bad item. Yeah, like it can stack. You can just make some sort of minefield, but no, it's not. It's never gonna like save you. It's just a bad item
It's
overall.
like okay on sniper for to combine with his own mines, but like
Why would you ever use mines on
I
sniper?
know, but it's not like his like headshot mines.
Okay, but it's still like not even
You can
that
like
good.
use that in, like loot. Like if you're like this is like desperate measures territory. If you got like
Yes, if you
no good RNG at all, you got like nothing good to drop. You can use this with snipers headshot mines to set up minefields and stop enemies' charges. Like that can be like a thing, but like
it's so
that is very rainy day measure. That is a very desperate situation measure.
yes. Okay, let's go to next item because it's
Top
just
tier item. Top tier item. Power shot is probably one of the best items. Like, I would say
yes.
it's the best in terms of like, in terms of everything. When you consider it, I think this is the best item in the game because
Yeah,
it's super cheap. It's super consistent. You don't need to put any credits into this for it to be effective. It's a full
but
power.
when you
The
do, it becomes so much better because it just straight up damage up with heat control. Like there's nothing bad about this item. If you can buy it, you should always buy it.
bad sniper rifles, but sniper rifles aren't even a good weapon type to begin with.
Yeah, but
So
when it works on sniper rifle, it's so funny because the sniper rifles can deal a shit ton of DPS with this.
So basically, this is the perfect heat management item. This will keep any automatic below overheat thresholds. Like you can mag dump any weapon with this. Essentially, like any sort of automatic can be mag dumped without overheating with this weapon with this item. This gives you a very significant DPS boost. It's very noticeable. Like big tanky elites like ion troopers suddenly are way more killable when you get this. You can break through shield drones way easier with this. This also gives you relevant DPS versus bosses, so you're guaranteed to always like not be fucking stuck on boss fights. Without power shots, some classes can take like 10 minutes to kill bosses. With this item, they always have very fast clear times. It's just a good general consistent item. It scales well with other items because the extra damage works really well with something like shock impulse. Um, Generally speaking, this is the most consistent item in the game, and if you pick it up, it always makes you stronger. Like it's also very cheap, and it's also very low investment. You don't need to spend a single credit into upgrading this to get its effects because the heat generation already is maxed out the moment you
Yeah,
get
if you
it. Like it
just
doesn't.
need heat control, you can just like buy it and like put it away just to like control the heat. But if you like want to be like you can upgrade this to have a more DPS. So it's just a good item overall. There's nothing bad about this. It's just a good item.
Top tier, one of the best items in the game, and it's in common, so it's super cheap to get.
Yeah.
Like there's no excuse for not getting it. It's like 440 from a shop.
Yeah, before like
Yeah, like first floors, and,
yeah.
and which is where credits are the most hardest to get.
Yeah, it's overall just a good item. You should always get it if you can. Okay, let's go to
Next
next one.
item, Power
Oh,
Ray. Also a good item,
yeah.
not top tier, but solid. No cooldown, so works well. It's like heavy gunner. Um, Overall, a very solid weapon, a
It's a
very
free
solid item.
railgun shot. There's nothing bad about this. A good item overall. You should
It's
like
got burst damage, and burst damage
yeah.
is always good in this game. But it's very simple item too, so you don't
Yeah.
need to really explain why it's good. Just grab it and use it.
But yeah, it can be outclassed by some items. But if you found it, you should use it because it's a good item to have than not to have.
Super cheap, super
Yeah,
cheap. So if you don't get anything else, this is also like very easy to fit into a build.
yeah. Okay, next item. A
And
grenade.
so
It's just
far,
a.
this is
I love
this is a
this.
very good item, I would
Yes, I
say.
love this
This
item
this
because
is kind of troll because it can kill you easily if you're not paying attention, but it has very good power. I think this item is good on every single class. It's
yeah,
particularly good on General and Breacher for like obvious reasons
yes,
because of their
because
explosion synergies, but I would say this is good on everyone. Even Heavy Gunner can use this very well. I've used this very well on Gunner multiple times, even with his cooldown bullshit. So I would say this is one of the more consistent AoE options you can have.
yeah, it's just overall a good item to have, good CC damage, and when you have M42 with Twin Link, it's so funny to see you shoot out like six of like grenades. It's legit like one of my favorite items on Preacher. I mean on the demo, because it's funny. It's just funny. I love
It's
this.
just solid item all around. Gives you good AOE damage. It's good burst damage in addition to the AOE. never really a reason not to get it. It's only hard to use because it can kill you easily if you're not paying attention. But if you've
It's just
used
you being bad, not item being bad. That's all.
it's just you not paying attention and just
Yeah.
not like in your eyes.
Okay.
Next
Next.
item. This is basically this riding boots is pretty good early on.
Yeah.
Good
It's also
damage sword,
it's free free movement speed boost. So
30 movement speed. It doesn't scale with the item power, so don't bother upgrading this at all. But later
I
on in the game,
only movement speed doesn't scale, but the damage
yeah,
does.
but you don't want it for damage. You want it for movement speed most of the time,
Yeah.
anyways.
But it's
This is
it's a
it's
meme.
pretty good on a lot of classes. Like Raider can use as well.
Yes.
Obviously, Guard can use as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Breacher can use
Breach.
as well. Uh, Heavy Gunner can use. It's just
Yeah.
good. The biggest thing about it is the movement speed because movement speed is a broken stat. So getting like 30 movement speed for free is actually super significant, especially if you have a team. But
It's overall.
there's not much to say. There's not much to say. Just
It's
good item.
just damages when you like dash through enemies. That's all. It's
Also, don't bother tokening this. It's not worth a
yeah.
token.
It's if you
It's
found it, that's fine to keep you. Like if you want it, it's fine to recycle it for the speed. It's overall a fine way to fine item to have.
yeah. Okay, next item. Rip Jack.
Ripjack. That's meme item for sure.
New
Cause
item that, like, similar to the weapon, actually works fairly well. Like,
yes,
the damage is good, the best auto pierce.
yeah,
It's easy to kill
it's a good
yourself.
Congo line killer, I'd say. Cause it's also bound, so it can be used. It's overall good item if you can use it properly.
And
Yeah,
believe it or not, this thing used to be worse back in the day in terms of killing you. It used to do way more friendly fire
yeah.
damage, and it used to bounce off like 90-degree angles. Like, this thing used to be way, way worse than it is right now at killing you. Like, this thing would actually one.
I would recommend recycle it when you get to the loop, because otherwise it's gonna kill you.
Yeah, don't keep this in loop. This is like that's like asking to kill yourself in loop.
Yeah, yeah. It's overall a fine bonus DPS pre loop. That's always you should keep this. Okay,
Okay.
next.
So next item, shotgun system. First off, before you start using this item gives you 15 heat whenever you touch it. So make
Whenever
sure
you
the
use it.
weapon, yeah, whenever you use it, this is 15 heat. So make sure whatever weapon you're using can actually handle this heat. If you're using a hot weapon, like say a laser cannon, this is not a good item whatsoever. But if you can handle the heat for whatever reason, this is a good AoE clear item. Very good damage potential. It has pierce. It has like it's a shotgun that pierces, so it's automatically going to have good potential, but
It also
good
can,
damage.
yeah. It also have a chance to shoot twice, so it's even much. It's even better. So
It
it's
also so yeah, just if you can handle the heat, use this. But if you can't handle the heat, never touch it. Just recycle it instantly.
it's overall a fine item if you have. If if you not have it, that's fine. That's all. Rod flares, damage
Uh,
boost.
the best item on Commando, and one of the best items.
Yeah,
I
cause
would say it's one of the best items in the game because
yeah,
of
cause
how
yeah,
powerful the buff is.
yeah. I'm fully because it's just
Like you basically like a sniper laser sight for the duration, except it also gives you damage output, which is
yeah. It
hilarious.
also burns enemies that walks through it. It's like yeah, it's like not that
It's good early game. That's really good early game. And
yeah.
both Riot Guard, not Riot Guard, both Heavy Gunner and Raider have bad early games, so the burn damage can be very, very
Yeah, but
nice.
overall, it's just used for bonus damage and accuracy. There's nothing bad about this item. You should always use this. I was thinking like a long time ago. I was like thinking, what? Why would you ever use this? But when I legit used it, I was impressed how good this thing is. It just makes you pinpoint
Super consistent. It also has really good scaling
with
with
power.
with power level because the
Yeah.
cooldown goes down so low. You can like stack multiple of them on top of
Yeah, it's
yourself. It's
funny.
hilarious.
And when you have reduced it, it becomes even funnier because you can just like spam, and you have like insane
It's
DPS.
basically just core on both classes. For Raider, you can extend the duration of this with his prestige. So this can like wind up giving you like a 10-second buff or something silly when he extends it. And it also gives his knife a massive boost. So this thing can really help you one-shot in groups with his knife. On Heavy Gunner, this thing gives you a massive DPS boost, which is really good with your
And also
weapon.
accuracy.
And it gives you a shit ton of accuracy, so you can use like super inaccurate weapons like a laser beam with this in onslaught. So it's overall one of the best items on commandos. Always take this if you're playing for like if you just want a strong loadout and you're not playing for fun. Like, well, you're always playing for fun if you're
Yeah,
playing
but
this game,
I
but
mean,
basically.
he meant if you like need something to
But
make
if you
your
want
early game, dude, I'm talking. If to make your early game less like painful and like mind breaking, take this, pop this, kill stuff. That's good. That's all. Okay, next
just
item.
overall,
Yeah, it's a well good
this
item.
is this is a beam item. So by default, that means this is terrible,
Yeah,
and it's
because
one. It's
beam
better.
beam is
It's better.
slow. Beam is
It's like
slow. Damage is bad. It also
I
aggroes
it's a,
enemy on you. It's not good.
oh yeah, this is also hilarious when it procs on like a mortar turret and you get like
Yeah,
constant mortar turrets on top of you. Wow, how useful.
yeah. It's also just can like proc randomly when you're just like walking around. It also I think this thing also like removes your stealth when you just like walk.
Yes,
Yeah,
it does.
it's
All beams do that,
yeah
I believe.
it's bad. I don't like it cause it,
One of the worst items in the game.
yeah.
This is like an auto cycle, basically. It does no
But
damage. The
but
is
if you
super
like this
slow.
item, you can surely use it. It's a meme item. It's funny to use. It's fine to like stack those like beams and just see everything that dies like.
There's only one useful beam item, and
No,
this
I
is
mean like,
not
dude,
it,
it's
basically.
funny to stack like beam items and like and both of the what was it the charges on the like both of the currents
Yeah, yeah.
and you
Okay,
just
so next item. Next item.
uh,
These are basically worse ripjacks that can kill you easier because there's multiple of them. So like, and this has
I don't
happened to
think
me.
they bounce like that often. It's just a free DPS that's like not that dangerous as a
If you get
Ripjack.
these on heavy gunner, they're worse, I would say, because they automatically bounce. But this has happened to me on heavy gunner when I've used these. Never used these on heavy gunner, by the way, where
Yeah,
I've shot them, I've walked off cover, I've shot them, then I walk into cover, and then the
yeah, yeah,
last
yeah.
star that shot out hit me, then I went back into cover and it killed me. Like, oh my fucking god, fuck this on heavy gunner. This
You're
is
just stupid, dude. You just
usually
like
other than heavy gunner, I would say these are like a decent source of bonus DPS. I wouldn't say they're top tier or anything. They're pretty mediocre, but if you have nothing better, which is often the case, might as well use them. They're not that terrible.
yeah. It's overall a okay that bonus DPS source. Okay, next item.
Okay, Rondo, this is like a meme item
Yeah, just
basically.
instant
Just
recycle.
there to give you credits. Like you can use this to kill a boss. It's like kind of useful and tactical because killing last defender is hard. So if you want to guarantee your tactical win, you can keep these for last defender if you don't find anything else to replace them with. But other than that one very niche usage, this is usually just
Yeah.
300 credits.
Okay. It also can be like procced once and just instant recycle. That's all.
Yeah, that too.
Overall is meh. Okay, next item.
This is one of the better heat management items because of
Yeah.
its super low cooldown. But if you don't need anything but heat management, this is not very good.
It's okay for what it is. It's low price.
It
It's
is. It is like it is on the better heat management
yeah.
items.
It's
I think
like
it's better than Magic Mag at managing just your heat because it
yeah,
has a lower cooldown.
yeah,
But if you don't need like heat man, if you're not playing like Raptor or something, this is only like super good with Raptor. But if you're playing like with Raptor, this is a top tier item. If you're not, this is more mid tier.
yeah. If you like have it and you need to control heat, that's good to have. But otherwise, Magic Mag is better than this.
Okay, so heat's better.
Heat's
Just
better.
for the early game,
Yeah,
basically, it's
it's
only good
like
early game.
early game bonus DPS if you close quarter characters. Otherwise, it's useless. If you like playing like on sniper, this thing is instant recycle because you will never go that close. If you play on
Yeah,
raider or like breacher or something along those lines, that's quite good to keep for like first boss. And otherwise, and
it's similar to like Ragnar because Ragnar can stun things to
yeah, yeah.
stack the heat.
But it's overall a mediocrely bad item because
This
damage.
is just stay for another game. If you find it anywhere else than like the first four floors, recycle it basically.
Yeah. It's overall
Okay.
a bad item because hit damage isn't that good, hit radius isn't that good either.
Yeah,
It's
Dawn is a bad kind of source of damage to begin with
yeah,
because this is not a DPS game. This is a burst game.
yeah,
It's just the damage isn't that much, and it forces you to go close quarters, and going close quarters is really shit. This thing can hit things through walls, so
yeah,
this is
but
another
it's
reason why I
not
say
that
it's
good either way. Okay,
good early game because there's a lot of walls to
yeah,
abuse in the early game, but just not that good later.
yeah. Okay, next item, healing crystal.
Healing Crystal, this is okay.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
okay for
basically
what it is.
regen. This is free regen. This is pretty good in loop now because regen is actually useful
Yeah,
now and actually like
but still,
regen.
you better just recycle in it for bonus regen and other item.
like going next to enemies usually is not going to give you more HP than you
Yeah,
lose with
you
this. This
lose
is
much more
only
than you regen.
you're gonna lose way more than you regen when you go next to enemies, especially like mill bay enemies. Like don't fucking
Yeah,
use
yeah.
this in mill.
No, Milbay is just a bad like thing to use it on.
But this is only like the only time you can like really keep this is like Riot Guard because Riot Guard can stun things and stay next to
Yeah,
them while
yeah,
they're
and
stunned.
just and
You can
he
charge
overall
the time.
have a good like HP regen stacking. So it can't go like with him, but otherwise it's not that good.
Otherwise, it's better as a recycle, so you
Yeah.
can get the permanent.
Okay, next item. Orbital Wind. It's
Another early game item. This thing actually is
good.
like a pretty good recycle, so it's not like
Yeah,
terrible if you get
it's
this.
okay. It's okay for what it is. It's just a bonus DPS.
More velocity is nice. Be careful when you recycle this in heavy gunner because more velocity on your bounces means your bounces can kill you more easily because you can't like expect them as easily.
Yeah.
You can't get out of the way. But uh, this is overall a decent item to find. It's like good DPS early game. It's useful early game, especially when your damage is lacking. This is good at hyper adrenaline because it can one shot things really quickly in
Yeah,
hyper
it's
adrenaline.
so overall like an okay bonus DPS item when you find it like early game. Otherwise, it's just
It's like a use or recycle, so even if you find this late game, it's not terrible. It's
yeah,
still going to give you something pretty important because bullet velocity is quite good late game. Even in loop, it's quite good because it means enemies can't just run past your bullets with their super speed.
yeah. Okay, let's go to the next item.
This is a good item. This is,
Yes,
I would say, mid top tier. I wouldn't say this is like the best item in the game, but like it's quite good. The sustain is very, very, very good because it's
yes,
percentage HP,
yeah,
which means on classes that like to stack a lot of HP, like Demo, Riot Guard, and Assassin, this thing can give you a lot of sustain. Like in Loop, if you have like a shit ton of max HP, like 3k max HP, this can be 100 HP per proc or
yeah.
something. So
Also,
which
this
is
thing is useful because it just gives you pinpoint accuracy for like 5 seconds, and CD on this is small, so you can just
pretty.
spam it.
But you need luck to proc it because it's not
Yeah,
on
but
hit, it's
it's
on.
still a good item to use. Otherwise, it's still a
It's
good.
pretty good. Some items this thing has really good synergy with, like items that have terrible accuracy or items that really need accuracy, like AN94 is probably the
Yeah, overall,
biggest
like
thing they use.
SMGs and like SMGs need
Yeah.
this to have
Or
like
like AMD with its shit recoil.
yeah, like SMGs. If you have it on and you have SMG and you found this, it's a good thing to have. Other like it's a good thing to have. It increases your
It's
sustain, accuracy, and overall a good item to have.
also good on like high recoil guns like AMD, which need
Yeah,
this to
yeah,
really
yeah,
have like good sustain damage. It's going to like AN94, which needs like as tight as a spread as possible to get its
yeah,
headshot bonus. This is really good in AN
yeah,
actually.
yeah. It's actually
And
very good on AN.
so this is overall a good item. It has good scenarios where it's very optimal. It's also like good for sustain, and again, sustain is very good in loop. Um, the recycle is usually not that good unless you're Riot Guard,
Yeah,
so
but
keep that in
it's
mind.
still like a good item to like have.
Okay,
Next item.
it's also pretty good with pre-loop because the sustain is still like super
Yeah,
good
yeah,
in
yeah,
pre-loop as well. So it's just good everywhere. If you, it's sometimes there's a lot of times you want to recycle this for like Twin Link or something, like if you have no inventory
yeah. But
spaces,
like
but
it's overall a
some
good item to
scenarios.
have if you like have enough to like to change it with. If you don't have like if you have all your token items and you found this, it's fine to keep this.
Okay, next item, R plating. This people sleep on this a lot. This is
Yes, it's
broken.
quite good
This
because
is,
it just
this is
increases.
broke. It's
Yeah,
useless pre-loop. So if you're not a looper, don't care about this item. It's fine to say it's bad if you're not a looper. But if you play loop and you think this item is good, you are like
you're
completely
wrong. You're
oblivious. It's
just wrong. Like +2
because
max plating is broken. It's straight up broken. And if
not
you
even max plating, just using it.
yeah,
Like
but still, like plugin is good, and using it if you like, it's and also using it is quite good because stealing plugin for enemies it's also fucking
like
stupid.
in loop, there's a shit ton of elites, right? There's a
Yeah,
bunch of elites, and elites usually spawn with max amounts of platings. They usually spawn with two platings. So with this thing, you can start farming plating off elites, and having more plating in loop is extremely good because plating is the strongest defense in loop by far.
yes,
So being able to farm plating off elites, and there's a shit ton of elites, is extremely, extremely good. This is by far one of the best loop items. I would always keep this. This is probably the most valuable defensive item for loop, except for like RV Rebuke and maybe Refractor Crystal. Those are the only defensive, and like Methadone. Those are the
Yeah.
only three defensive items I can say that are on par with this thing. Not even better. I don't think any of those items are better than this in terms of
Yes,
defense,
but
but
overall, I just personally think recycle first one that you find is better because four plating is better than two, and keeping the second one you find because it can just keep stacking the plating that of
only
like
shows it because that's hard to fit into
yeah,
your
but like
inventory. It's hard
yeah,
to fit it into your inventory because it's not consistent. So it's a
yeah,
more of a long item. It's more for the long term rather than the short
yeah.
term.
If you
Because
find it
in the
like
long,
before loop, it's safe to keep because if you like going to loops, it's safe to keep so you can like if you so you can use it in loops. But
you
if you
just
find
get
it in
good.
loop and you have like full slots that upgraded, then you should recycle this because you there's like I don't think it's viable to like throw away an item for this in loop.
Depends on the class. I
Yeah,
would
sure,
keep it
but
on like assassin. I would always keep it because
yeah,
farming
but
plating.
dude, assassin doesn't need like bonus plate and stealing
Yeah,
because
like he doesn't need other items either, right? Like he already is like you can use this to like just farm plating and be invincible, basically.
I think better off just recycle for bonus to plating on assassin because he can stack plating overall, so it's not even that useful.
Okay, so next item,
Fast link.
fast link. This is actually surprisingly viable on certain builds. I would say if you're doing pistol only, this is always good because you know recycle for pistol damage.
Yes.
But
Also,
there is
no,
a
no, give me a second. Also, if you do nail gun, you should recycle this because it gives nail gun damage because it's considered pistol.
there is one build. This is like if you remember to swap correctly, just press Q. This is always like decent. Like
Yeah.
it's not better than the top tier items, but if you have nothing better, this can actually represent a lot of bonus damage. You just remember to swap correctly. This doesn't prevent weapon switching, by the way, so you can like swap whenever you want. So there's no downside to actually using this correctly. There's one build that I think this is really broken in, and it's the null near twin link build. With null near, in order to proc twin link, you need to switch to another weapon and then shoot that weapon to proc twin link. Then you swap back to null near to benefit from twin link's double effect.
Wait.
Since you
I think
yes,
I legit think the twin link works with Mjolnir.
it does. It doubles the
Yeah, but
ticks.
oh, but I think you just better
Mm,
just swapping and then shooting with twin links.
no, the way you'd use it. Okay, I actually like show you a video of this, so like you need to see this.
Later on,
But
later on, not now then.
basically, the way you use Nolnir with that set up is like you swap to another weapon, you immediately shoot, and you swap back to Nolnir, and you spam click. That will basically
Oh
one
yeah,
shot
yeah,
anything in
yeah,
the
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Like you can like one shot anything in the game with that, and that build, this is actually quite viable, and this is like a top tier build. So I would say this has. Like, it's important to note that this has an application in one of the strongest builds in the game, but
It's a Mjolnir
it's
ability
usually
build, so it's not.
yeah, it's a Nolnir build, so that is top tier by far.
Yes,
But
because Mjolnir is like one of like best weapons in the game. So
so I would say this is like usually a mediocre item, but there are some situations where it can be very strong.
yes, and it's overall like if you don't
It's
have
solid.
anything, it's mediocre overall. That's all.
I would say it's solid. I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it's pretty
Yeah,
solid.
it's okay to have this. Like if you have nothing else to have, that's fine. Okay,
It's a sidewinder. I don't like these because they generate really
but
significant
I
amounts of
like
heat.
this because it's if you have like reducer on demo, this thing can legit just help you nuke everything like in seconds. Because they can like home to enemies and you can just spam RB and everything's
I
dead.
think it's worse than 203 because it generates so much heat. I don't.
Nah,
There's
I would argue because
this can like break OBJ because of the heat generation can make OBJ almost useless. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me. It's hard to fit this in builds. I
I
don't
just
like it
like it
that much.
because it generates so much rockets. Because most of the time I have reducer on my at least on one of my two guns, so it's quite good in my opinion. It's overall mediocre item because it generates heat. It generates
Can also kill you easily, by the way. You can like use it, especially don't use it on sniper, by the way, because
yeah,
like
it's useful.
pressing right mouse button can proc this on sniper, and if you're like right next to
Yeah,
cover when you proc it, you can put stuff up. So try
it's
to avoid this item most of the time. You can use it on demo if you want. You can
yeah, but
sometimes
like
use it
it's
on breach.
overall a mediocre item to have. If you have it, you can keep it for bonus DPS. But otherwise, if you have hit troubles, don't use this. It's bad idea. Overall, it's okay to have like before like your actual items. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, it can be useful for like bridging the gap before you get your token items or
Yeah,
something.
it's
But
fine to have for like
careful. careful when you do have these in inventory because again, it's very easy to proc these. It's very
Yeah.
easy
Also,
because they
yeah,
can.
when you upgrade, this thing can proc sometimes, so be careful.
Yeah, so be very careful about using these. Like even like pressing fucking upgrade station, even
Yes,
pressing the
yes.
button on the upgrade station can proc this item. So be very careful when you grab this because it's easy to just fire it into a wall right in front of you and just blow yourself up. So if you have these, be extremely careful around walls. You don't want to be near
Yeah.
walls
Okay.
at
Let's go
all.
to the next items. Composite 4.
Usually not that good. Like
Yeah,
it's good.
it's good.
It's good like before you get token items to like deal with
Yeah.
groups. It's good in like tactical. It's okay for its purpose, but
Yes,
it's
but
not like an
otherwise,
item.
its purpose is not like very useful.
Yeah, it's not something you want to rely on. This can be useful when you have nothing else to use. Like if you have like a terrible run and you get these can like
Help
these can like
you.
give you some.
Yeah, it's
This can
good.
give you some good use. But usually these are not that good.
Yeah. Okay. Uh,
Okay, Phaser.
yeah. Okay.
This is probably the
Give me a
most
second.
summoned
Give me a second. Dude.
class.
Pause. Pause. Okay, we're back. Okay, phaser. It's overall like fine for what it is. It's I think it's worse than glider, but in loop it can be stunned and just tank anything they throw at him, other than missiles.
I
It's
think this thing is like very trash because if it ever shoots, it, like blows up instantly.
Nah, it's not that bad. It can like it can tank some shots. It's fine if you don't have other summons. It's fine on like it's fine for the summon. It's worse than the glider, but
I think
it
it's the worst summon in the game, like
no,
probably.
it's
Like,
far from being worse than summon.
it's worse than kind of drone spawner. It's worse
No,
than glider.
I
It's
mean
worse
okay,
than
it's not that bad, but it's not even like it's mediocre. If you have it, you can
really
keep it.
consistent for a summon, in my opinion. It can either work really well or it can die instantly, which is not good for a summon because usually with a summon you're relying on them to
No,
give you
no.
some.
Usually you just okay. It's it's not worth keeping like glider, but it's worth using if you don't have anything else to use. Okay.
Say it's worse than Archer too. I see DMR.
Yes, yes. It's worse than Gungeon Spawner. Of course it is, because Gungeon Spawner and glider it's like
Archer
two best spawners.
and Archer in the Century.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's also worse than
Yeah,
DMR
yeah, true.
turrets.
But GMR turret is like it's so niche because it can't move, and that's why I think it's mediocre. Because it can't move, and moving
I don't
summon are
know.
much better than like
Let's go to the next one. Okay. So target concutator, this is usually
yeah.
not very warranted. You
Dude,
don't really need this unless you're using something like Damnation or AMD, which has really bad recoil
yeah.
issues.
Otherwise, it's not good item to have. If you're like, okay, it's good if you're going for like insanely high alert levels. Otherwise, it's meh. It's okay if
The
it's
only
okay if you don't have anything else to stack accuracy.
the
Otherwise,
only thing I bother with this is if you have a gun that has terrible accuracy issues. Like if you have
yeah,
like a seed charged SMG that's like fucking terrible deviation, or if you're using AMD or Object 29 or Damnation, which have like noticeable deviation and recoil
yeah,
issues, you can use this. Other than that, if you don't have a weapon that really warrants it, I wouldn't bother with this. It's usually not that useful on more accurate weapons.
yeah. It's overall a mediocre item to have. The boost it provides doesn't like actually worth it. I would say it's like it's a head to have if you don't have anything else, but it's not worth having if you don't need it.
Okay, so next
Next
item
one,
is Rosar. Uh,
dude. Can you speak
this
like
thing is super broken, by the way, right now.
yes?
Its recycle effect is so silly. At 300%, this gives you 500 shields.
No, dude. This recycle effect gives you power x 125%. That's how it works.
No, but dude, it has to be bugged right now. It's too
No,
much.
no,
It's way too much
dude.
shields
This
on
thing
recycle.
always gave you 125% of its
I
power as
feel
shield.
tired of 5% right now. Like you can get like 600 shields off this for like so cheap for how much shields you can get on this thing.
Yeah, it's
So
overall not.
basically, usually, most of the time, you think that you get like it's worth keeping Rosarius for like the luck and the short duration shield, but right
No,
now its recycle bonus is fucking broken.
it
So
always was,
the way you
dude.
want,
It always was
you,
like this.
I don't think it was always this
It
high.
it
I
was it
tested
was in
this before.
24. I'm sure it was in 24.
There's no way this always looked like this.
Dude,
This
it
has
was
to be at least.
125% recycle bonus.
I don't think it's 125% right now. I think it's
It
higher than
is. It
that.
is 125%.
Go test it after this video. You fucking. Okay, so this item right now, you want to recycle this when you upgrade it heavily,
Yes.
but you don't
Otherwise,
get the.
if you like have full inventory and you find this, you should recycle it right away. If you don't have full,
Basically, if you don't have full inventory, if you have like inventory to spare, save this until you get to 50% around there, and then upgrade it. That's like 400 shields for
free,
250%.
yeah.
It's incredibly good. This thing can give you like basically more shields than laser sub can.
Yes.
So
It's overall a good item to recycle, and it's also
pretty
a good
dumb, right?
item to have if you like if you need it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next item. DMR Sentry Turret. This is one of the better summons in the game right now. Again, if it's weak when you first get it because it's not upgraded, but when you upgrade this heavily, it becomes nearly invincible. Like fucking loop enemies cannot kill this thing when it's fully upgraded.
Yes.
It
Well,
has
this thing has like 80 armor. This thing has fast piercing shots, high damage. It's all, but it can't. It's like it's a sword, so it can't move. So it's you need to like position it properly, so for it to be more useful.
yeah, but it's AI is less shit than like moving AI. Like it usually
It's
shoots things
nice. The
correct.
AI is still shitty because it will mostly aggro on you if you shoot like behind it. It will like look at you, not the enemies that shoot
But
towards it.
it actually shoots things correctly. Like don't try to tell me fucking Glider has better AI than this. Like
No,
Glider is the
dude.
better. Glider
Summons overall have a shitty AI. That's like
Glider is the better item, but it's AI.
yes,
But
AI
basically,
sucks.
this thing is really good. This is one of the better summons in the game. It has very good DPS. It's bad when you first get it because at 100%, it's not very tanky. You need to upgrade to like 200% or more for this thing to start being like super useful. But once you do, basically just drop it down and you instantly win the engagement. There's no engagement that this thing is a part of that you lose.
Okay, so next item because we explained that's an okay summon to have if you need one.
Okay, this thing is interesting because it has a lot of heat generation. So if you have a good weapon, never use this.
Yes, it
But the
just straight up gives you 10 hit per use. I don't know why kunais give you hit, but okay. It's overall fine if you need bonus DPS. Otherwise, it's not that useful.
the real use for this weapon is if your gun is terrible, because
Yes.
this thing can stand in for your gun as your main weapon. Like you can start you spamming these for your main weapon, which is like I have a video on my YouTube showing me having like a terrible road warrior that cannot jack shit, but I still use this thing to have actual killing power. So this is very good on tactical, where your gun suck because tactical nerfs your weapon a lot. And this thing is just generally it's something you can use to salvage a run. Basically, it's not really something that's good. If your run is going poorly, it can be used to salvage it.
Yes, but it's overall if you have a good at least an okay weapon to use, this thing is not worth it because 10 hit per shot isn't like worth it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So moving on to the next. Laser mine, I have basically never used this.
I
It's
use it like twice and like okay, I use it 31 times. It's not that good. It's outclassed by the it's certain items of the purple class. It's outclassed by everything else that like that Rogue has.
just laser mines and just headshotting with snipers, so you
Yeah.
don't really need these at all.
Assassin doesn't need those because like why would you need those on assassin? And the sniper just better off with smoke and flash.
Okay, so next one, Seth up.
I
This
legit
is honestly this is okay,
Yeah,
but
it's
this
okay.
is
It's okay if you need to summon on the NG.
it's honestly it's strongest to use with just the fucking potion abuse. It's not that good
You can
anymore. Unless
dude, I legit think the drone that like rocket drone is better than Seth Tool because it can move, and the moving summon is like it's a big deal.
this thing can be used on any class, but usually other classes have items that are too good to give up. Like
Yeah, like
no point in
I don't think it's like useful on like anything
like
that NG.
it's usually not that. It's like fun to use. It's like a meme item. It's referencing a meme YouTuber,
Yeah,
but um,
Seth Yang. I love that guy.
it's,
Okay,
it's just it's okay
yeah, it's okay.
basically.
Dude, speak more loudly. I legit almost can't hear you.
It's okay, basically. Hello.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Okay, so next item. This thing is underrated, I would say. This thing is
It's
actually
AOE
quite.
stun that's like actually good.
It's instant. It's instant, which is
Yes.
what's so good about it. You can stop. You can stop Chrono Troopers with this. Like you can stop Chrono Troopers and drop a stun grenade underneath them to stop them completely, which is really fucking good. The instantaneousness of it is also really good against ball bots. Like this will stop ball bots in their tracks, which
Good.
since
Good. Because they.
heavy gunner is slow as shit, you can be overwhelmed by ball bots really easily. So this thing gives
Yes.
you a counter against some of the more dangerous enemies in the like just this thing just being good against Chrono Troopers by itself is extremely good because Chronos are the worst enemy in the
But
game
to be
by
honest,
far.
Kronos sometimes can just like appear like in front of you and shoot before their hitbox like starts like to.
Yeah, but it's still pretty good because it's AOE. So if you get like
Yeah.
rushed by multiple troopers, this thing is like the only thing in the game that can save you from like multiple chronos.
Yeah. True.
No, it's also good for like getting behind enemies because you can stun like machine gunners or pyros or ions and then walk behind them and then start stun locking them, which is also really good.
Yeah.
It's just it's generally a very strong tool in in Riot Guard's kit. It's not obvious why it's so strong at first, but it's
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 good.
quite good.
Okay. Next item. Breacher charges. It's
This depends on how your run is going. It's
yeah.
very strong in the game. This is one of Breacher's strongest abilities in the early game. Later on in the game, it's mostly usable for dealing with massively clumped up targets if you've upgraded it, and for proccing his explosive effect. This thing gives you a consistent way of proccing this explosive effect, which gives you low cooldowns on your items. Now, it's not going to be better than like using an M32 or a Kira or something like that, but it still gives you like 15 to 20% reduction every time you drop them, which is really good for synergizing with stuff like glider and refractor. So this thing guarantees you can get the very low cooldowns no matter what.
Yeah. It's overall good to have if you don't have any alternatives.
You can recycle this for Akira though. Always
Yeah.
recycle this for
Of
Akira.
course. Also,
Akira.
always.
It's also very strong in speedrunning for obvious reasons
Yes.
because early game dominant. But
Okay. Next item. Legit demo
the
like
other side,
I yeah. No, I would argue with the next one, but okay. It's like one
this
of
thing is useless basically. It
yeah.
can't
It's
hit anything that
one of
moves.
the worst items in the game. It can only work versus the turrets. Otherwise, it's useless.
But
Because
doesn't even deal damage to turrets. And,
yes, because it's
most it does like 30% of a turret's HP.
yeah,
Fucking
because it doesn't have
amazing.
any armor piercing. It's useless because enemies will aggro towards you, not towards the beam. It's useless.
Actually, anything out of this like take like 10% of her HP at maximum.
Yeah,
This basically there's only one way to make this thing useful. Stun grenades. You stun
yes,
something, you drop on top of them, and then wow, you have synergy. Wow, amazing.
but you're better off just install recycling it for like 450 credits. That's all this thing useful for.
Okay, next item. This item is fucking terrible.
It's
It's
the
it, it
most useless item in the game
It
because
sounds good. It sounds good on paper, but
it's not even
this
sounds good
thing
on
is
paper.
this thing is how you just fucking die because you teleport into headhunters, and it's like wow.
Wow, good thing. Yeah, its thing is like the
Um,
most useless item in the game. There's nothing good about this. The thing that it does is useless. It like yeah, I'm low HP, I'll teleport away from a danger, but no. This thing
you
mostly
can
just doesn't
get
provide anything.
teleported like enemies can move to a starting area sometimes, just randomly move there, so you can get ganked by them.
Yeah.
If headhunters spawned at your base, if headhunters spawn at the start, and then you get teleported there, you can just get insta get by headhunters because I don't think you get iframes when you use this
No,
item.
you don't. You don't. It
So
just teleports you without anything.
it has no warning on the effects, so like, you can get
Yeah.
fucked in certain situations. It's not that good, and it's also troll in co-op. By the way, never use this in co-op because it blinds your partner. It's not
Yeah.
like stun. It's not like flash grenades where the blind is only on the person using it. It can blind your partner completely, like completely blind them, which will kill them. So
It's
try
bad.
to avoid
It's
this.
bad. It's like the worst item in the game. It's nothing good about this.
Okay, next item.
GPS.
This
One
thing is
of
top tier if you
yeah.
have hands. If you have hands and can press tab and look at the map, this thing is the best one of the best items in the
Yes,
game. If you
cause
can't, it's
dude, I picked this item 3,325 times.
It's generally very strong. Don't bother with the scavenging bullshit.
It's trash.
Scavenging is
Just
a
never
fucking
upgrade this. Just it's for only for map.
scavenging is literally useless stat. Please don't
Yes.
don't look at this and go, oh my god, I must get GPS for the scavenging. No,
No, scavenging
this
is
item is
it's useless. Scavenging is the most
this
useless.
item is broken because of the tab effect. Being able to tell where every single enemy on the map is incredible amounts of power because that's incredible amounts of information because one of the best ways you die in this game is when you get flanked by enemies you didn't know were there. Or
Yes.
like when you shoot your gun against certain groups of enemies and you don't think you aggroed anything and then you get surprised when like ball bots rush you out of nowhere. This thing can keep you from being surprised by just random bullshit that the game throws on you, and it can keep you also like it can also give you like extreme. It can give you the ability to choose your fights and have like just basically just have complete control over the map. This is
Yes.
an incredibly good item if you have hands and you remember to use it. I
If you
don't.
have
I
brains,
never.
also, if you only have hands and no brain, and you forget to press tab, then yeah, it's not going to be that useful. I personally just press tab whenever I move, like anywhere, to see like my position and enemy's position and like, what the fuck is going on the map. It's overall a good item to have. I think it's like you should always talk
I
about.
would say you can use it. There's sometimes where you don't want it because sometimes
Yes,
you like set up so broken that does not matter what the game throws at you.
yes,
You're
yes,
always gonna
true.
win.
Like, but it's like so rare. You better all just like having it than not.
It's like hard to know when that time is. Like the
Yes,
only time I can say with certainty that that time is if you have a cure on Breacher and you have like double refractor crystals.
yes, that's
Then it does not matter what the game throws at you, but
yes,
not literally a cure Breacher with double refractor crystals. Always take this and always use it. It's hard to use at first because you don't have a habit when you first starting using this weapon
yes,
site. You don't have a habit looking at the map because like usually the map is a useless resource. It's not that useful to use unless you finish the map and you want to see where the chests are that you forgot.
yeah.
But
Otherwise, it's super good item. Full map knowledge is best thing ever.
it's
Okay,
just so crap. The
yeah,
information offered by this completely like it makes the game so much more consistent.
yeah.
You don't get surprised by bullshit anymore.
Okay, let's go to next item. Metal detector. It's a meme item. The devs confirmed
I
it.
mean, it's not. It's good. It
No,
just
dude,
it's
it's legit. It was a meme item. The Thanks God they fucking fixed this thing because previously just it just straight up gave you like minus damage absorb. Now it just gives you plus damage absorb when when you go over the mine, and it can save you in loop if you get stunned by the EMP mine. It can like
yeah,
save your ass.
but the thing this thing is good for is a credit game. You
Yeah, it's
get this
also very good.
before you if you get this early game or before you have a full setup. If you're before the full inventory, keep this if you don't have a full inventory. Always
Yeah,
keep this. And credits is useful because that's extra upgrades on upgrade stations or extra items
yeah, yeah,
bought.
yeah, yeah.
So if you don't have maxed inventory, keep this always. Never recycle this.
Yes,
Only if you have a maxed inventory should you recycle
yes,
this thing.
yes, yes. Okay.
Fortunately, it's from random chests, so
Yeah.
you often don't actually get
Yes,
this when
yes,
it
yes.
matters.
And give me a second. Pause.
Are
Okay, we're
we
back.
back? Are we done?
Yes,
Okay.
we're back.
Okay, so what's the next thing? What are we
Hyperfeed.
doing now?
Hyperfeed.
Okay, so Hyperfree, this used to be good, but it's trash right now. Don't use this until Strike buffs it. He said he's might gonna buff it next patch because it's kind of bad right now.
Yeah, it's legit
Um,
just useless. Heat reduction isn't a thing. The like it's useless like overall. Heat reduction isn't a
like
thing.
it's
Percentages.
per second, which isn't that good. It's not good enough to go fully auto with any like good weapon anymore. So it's overall not that useful anymore. It's just
Yeah,
at least compared to what it used to be, it's not that good. Like at
yeah.
best, it's good for like speed running for killing last defender, but that's like the only usefulness.
It's not as good as it was because like yeah, it's overall just bad right now. Yeah, it's funny to use it, but it's not that good.
Fun to use. Like I'm sure, like if you didn't use the old version, you probably have no idea what we're talking about. You're like, oh no, Hyperfeed is fine right now. It's not that bad, but
Yeah,
it's
but
like
previously it was 100% chance to not
yes,
consume ammo,
and
and
it
it
also set your heat to like nothing. Like you basically didn't have any heat generation while it was
yes,
active.
yeah.
So it's not that good right now. Use it if you want, but it's actually just like very bad. But okay, next item.
Shock impulse. Yay! We go to the broken stuff.
The best item in the game, objective, but arguably the best item in the
Yes,
game.
yes, cause
Let's say there's nothing better at killing big groups than
it's
this.
uh,
Even
it's
demo,
it's only
even
useless on like two classes. That's heavy gunner because he
oh,
can spam it, and the demo because he just doesn't need it, and he also
you
can't do.
can use this on the heavy gunner, by the
But
way,
it's
if you upgrade it to 100%, but it's hard to get the credits for that.
yeah,
If you do get it to 100%, it's broken on heavy gunner because
yeah,
he has like such good damage output. But uh, okay, so basically, this item is like to give you an idea of how good this item is. A properly set up build of this item will kill groups faster than demo could ever dream of.
yes, yes.
Like
You can
no,
just we can one shot group of items like easily with proper.
entire groups of enemies are instantly killed. This item makes groups. This item makes legions of enemies easier than single enemies with no reinforcements. Like a single ion trooper with no help is harder to fight than 30, 50, like 50 ion troopers at once because of this fucking item.
Yes,
Like ironically, this
yes,
item is
yes,
if you don't know why it's so good, basically if you have penetration, like every single target that this thing hits it does full damage. The splash does full damage for every target this hits. If you have penetration, you hit multiple targets in a row. Every single one of those splashes will hit each other, and you'll get a chain effect where like you'll be like you're like 10 times your damage from just hitting so many targets, and everything just dies instantly. And then there's also a fact that if anything has shields, not only does it drain the shields, but it also does more damage on the splash when you drain the shield.
yeah.
So
It's
like you just
overall a broken item because CC damage is
shoot into a group of enemies and they will disappear instantly.
yes.
Like
They will evaporate like legit.
it's not even exaggeration. They're
Yes, yes.
just
They
they're
will
here
legit
one,
evaporate.
here 1 second, they're gone the next. Like fucking Thanos snapped.
Yeah. Okay. Next item. The other broken shit that gives you
Yeah,
like
thankfully the two broken items in the game are right next to each other.
that's
Uh,
such a beautiful sight.
this thing, by the way, has been giga nerfed. Refractor Crystal has been giga nerfed,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
still the best item in the game. This thing used to have its fucking duration scaling with item power. You could have like 7-second Refractor Crystal or
Yeah,
some
it was
stupid bullshit.
stupid. Now
But
just
it's been nerfed. It's only 3 seconds now, but it's still the best defensive
yeah,
item in
because
the
it
game.
can like go to like half a minute CD or even like less than half a minute CD with like
Um,
100%.
this thing can be hard abused by anyone with cooldown reduction. So Engineer and Breacher can hard abuse this. Breacher is the hardest abuser of this item in the game, and it
Yes.
makes him probably the best item user in the game because he can literally chain Refractor Crystal after Refractor Crystal after Refractor Crystal. This thing is silly. It's the most. It's basically like the best item for looping. If you have any sort of like serious considerations, if you want to loop seriously, you basically just use this item. This
Yes.
thing lets you win any situation when used. It is incredibly powerful. It has it's like super. There's so many situations it's useful for. It's
Yeah.
useful for like
Also,
dealing with
this
big groups.
thing deals damage to all enemies in the map, and so like
Yes.
if you engage like one group, you pop this, you deal like 1k damage, and you like go like to the other screen. The enemies will start spawning, and they will die immediately if the damage is like more than their HP. That's like that can happen.
And also, this is also why it's so good on Breacher because you can spam this over and over again,
Yes.
and like half the map fucking dies from it. So basically, there's only one weakness of this thing in that it doesn't stop dots from applying on you if you are invincible. So if you like try to face tank like a flamethrower, he's still going to apply the dot on top of you. And while the invincibility will stop the dot from hurting you, it won't stop the dot from being a long duration. If you get like a 20-second duration flame tick on you, this thing will negate the first 3 seconds, but after that, you have 17 seconds of flame tick on self on top of yourself. So
Yeah, it's
it is fine to be like retarded with this item, but try to keep an eye out for enemies that can stay you. Like you can still be stunned by gliders and by riot guards. So don't think you're invincible against those two enemies because if you get stunned right at the end of the duration, you basically just killed yourself. You can get slowed by explosives if you're in high difficulties while you have fracture crystal up. So if you go too ham, if you go too deep, and you get slowed, and you won't be able to get out of a situation. So even if this item lets you like act like a retard and get away with it, try to be a bit careful with it because if you overextend and an enemy that can punish you for that overextension exists, you could easily die after the duration.
but to be
So
honest,
don't
like
always.
there's only like one enemy who can do this is like flamethrower. That's all.
Riot guards and gliders can also stun you
Yeah,
at the
but
end of the
it's like
duration.
And also this stun can be more than your shield duration because
Like I'm
stuns.
saying, right before it ends, you get stunned by a stun grenade. Like you're
Yeah,
fucked.
yeah. Okay, next item, Orb of Fire. It's
Mediocre.
yeah, it's mediocre. Like it can damage you if you like proc it next to the wall, but over it also generates heat when it used. But it's overall a okay area effect damage if you need it.
It's basically just there if you don't have anything better. Like that's why
Yeah,
you get your token items. You can use this for some AoE damage.
yeah.
But please, just like it's so bad. I don't like it. But okay, so next item.
Hardcore.
There's so many items here that we don't have to talk about. Hardcore. We don't have to explain what this
It
is.
just gives you
Like
HP when you kill enemies. HP scales HP gain scales with power. That's all you need to know. That's all. Next item.
it's okay. Next time is like it's gone. We don't have to talk
Refresher.
about
It's
this.
called Refresher. I found it 5 times. All buff, debuffs, and any non-stun status effects currently applied on enemies stop decreasing for 10 seconds. This
Okay, there
item
was
is
one. Okay, there's two things. Okay, we don't even have to explain this. But I'm gonna do it anyways. There's two things about this. One, if you activate this and you get stunned for 10 seconds. Two, if you activate this and you have you have Vakaider for 10 seconds. So what you could do with this thing was speed
dude.
run the
No,
game
it's
with any.
only on enemies, so it's damage over time effect on enemies. That's all.
No, no, that's not how it works. That's a description, but it's not how it works in
Oh,
game.
I like find it 5 times, and I don't remember what it was. It was like so long.
I've abused it with Vakaider in the old days, so I'm going to
Okay.
tell you what this did. So basically, it would pause any sort of status effect that was currently in effect for 10 seconds. So if you had Vakaider's speed boost, you'd have that for 10 seconds the moment you activated this. However, if you got stunned by like a riot guard, like even if they stunned you with their bullets, their bullets can stun you. If you got stunned by even that, you got stunned for 10 seconds. So you could like run through entire levels just dashing around at super high movement speeds with Vakaider, but the moment you got stunned, you were dead. So this was really fun to use, but it wasn't that good, so that's why he like removed it. I think I don't remember why he removed it. I want this back so I can abuse the character with it, but
I should just remove because I think he thought that it wasn't like that good or
like
something.
useless. But
Yeah, probably.
okay, next one, core upgrade kit. This is extremely strong, but you can't really control when you get it,
Yeah,
so
if
there's
you
no
get it,
point
it's
talking.
super good. If you're not, it's fine because it just gives you
Two
two.
upgrades, have, like higher. There's like a chance for them to be higher power or something. I
Yeah,
don't remember the
it
exact.
just there's a chance for it to be like 3 times the upgrades, but otherwise it's okay. It's okay to have it because it just gives you two upgrades on your body. It's fine. It's good. It's super good to have.
Okay, so these other two things were removed like a long time ago. I don't even remember what these things
I
are
don't even have
anymore.
them legit. I just has
Yeah, me neither. I think one of them is like the fucking arena drone, and the other one is combat mechanisms. They were like super buggy, and they crashed the game a bunch. That's all I remember about these things. So
okay.
there's no
Whatever.
point
You know
like
what? Can't
gone
give
for
it.
years.
So let's just keep them. Psy field.
Okay, so side field.
It's
This
it's
is
useless because this field is super small. If field was like 3 times the size, like if this was bigger, it would be so much more useful. But
yeah, it's not good.
what?
It's not that good right now. It's too
Yeah,
small. The effects aren't that strong. Like ball, the only thing that you want to use it against are like ball bots, but ball bots can like get out of it super quickly
yeah.
because it's
It's
not
slow
resistant.
and slow down effect is slow. Damage is bad. Its damage is like bad. It's like it's not worth using over like
It's just there for 450 credits, basically. That's
yeah.
all you need to know about.
That's
Okay,
like
Mavericks. I don't remember if these things give you heat
no.
on
I don't
proc. Do
think
they
they
give
do.
heat
I
on?
don't think they do.
Okay, so these are, I would say these are a better version of Sidewinder,
But
but you need
I
to,
just like Sidewinder more because this thing they just proc randomly and it's not that good because
you
sometimes
need,
it's
you need like a high rate of fire gun to get
yes.
this thing.
I
Really
mean I
bad.
use like the explosion weapons on the demo. That's why it's not that useful on him. Otherwise, if you don't have your 4 token items, it's fine to use with high fire rate weapons. Otherwise, it's like instant recycle.
Okay, so next item,
Last stand,
last,
it just like rosaries, but worse because it gives you 100% of your as it gives you 100% of its power as shields. So if you have 300% power, it gives you 300 shields. That's all.
so just basically just recycle this the moment you get it. You can
And
hold
no,
it to like,
it can save your like
it's
life
good, it's
for
good
loop.
pre-loop, it's okay in pre-loop, but if you're like a loop, recycle this, you can probably hold it to upgrade it, but it's not as good as Zarya's to do
Yes.
this for, but The shields are extremely strong from this thing, so just always take the shields if you can.
Yeah.
Okay,
Next glider.
the best summon in the game right
Yeah.
now. Probably. It's really dumb. It's dumb as shit. This
Yeah,
thing can
I think
fuck
I
you up.
think it is the best summon because it has iframes. An iframe summon is quite good, and also this thing is also super tanky. It's good. Also the
It's like
DP.
super tanky by default. It has like the shield. It's the same shield as the regular gliders.
Yeah,
It doesn't have the stun effect, unfortunately. It doesn't stun
I think
enemies, but it's
it's
still
good
quite good.
because this thing can like
It
sometimes
also has
go
very,
towards
very
you.
good DPS. It also has very, very good DPS. Like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
thing
It's
will.
so it's like overall good. It's
If it
best.
decides to shoot at something, because it's like super fucking dumb and it never shoots. But if it
Yeah.
does decide to shoot,
Overall, I
this thing
think
is
it's the best item in the game because there's like nothing bad about this.
best summon. Best summon.
Yeah, if you can control like the if you can control the summon, it's good. If you cannot, then like why would you shouldn't
Just
even.
need to be careful. Just
Yeah,
you need to get like use it and get used to it. It's very dumb. It can get right in front of you really easily. It can block your shots like an idiot. But if you get used to this thing, stupidity, it's by far the strongest summon available. It's also really really strong in general.
yeah,
Like this thing is super good on engineer, breacher, but it's also super good on basically any class.
yeah. It's overall a good summon to have. Okay, next
Okay,
thing.
This is basically the less consistent but higher potential version of Stinger. Theoretically, if you get really high luck and really high item power, this thing can spawn infinite drones. And these drones, instead of being stupid like Stinger, will spawn in front of enemy groups. So they'll always give you consistent amounts of like
Defense like
distractions. But
mid shields. It just gives you a good mid
yeah,
shield.
but this thing is really good with like AoE classes. I would say it's really good on demo because this thing can like make enemies bunch up around each other and then you can just shoot them all.
I think
And
you're
since
better just having something that explodes on them other than Gungeon Spawner. I think the stinger on them would be so much better than the Gungeon
I don't know,
Spawner.
I think this thing is like super good
No,
scaling with
no,
high AoE.
this thing can spawn like in front of you, and you can just
It doesn't spawn in front of you unless there's no enemies.
like
It always spawns a drone next to the enemy groups. That's like it's like missile drone, but it's always sets it next to enemies. You know?
okay then. I just think this stinger drone is so much better to use. I don't think that
It is way more consistent.
yeah
I think the Stinger Drone is a better item, but if you get a shit ton of luck, this thing can spawn infinite meat shields, and those meat
yeah
shields will spawn in front of enemies. So like at that point, it's better than Stinger because it doesn't like spawn in front of you and block your shots, and it
yeah
has infinite amounts of
yeah.
shields. But
Okay, let's go to the next item. Because it's overall a good a good meat shield spawner. That's all.
Heart Seeker, this thing is okay. This
Yeah,
thing is
it's
decent
okay if you
for
don't have the token items and like it's it's good for mobbing. Otherwise, it's useless.
yeah, it's decent for mobbing. It can hurt you by the way if you're next to the wall. This thing can hit you if you're next to the wall. It also has it's also really bad in co-op. Don't use this in co-op. It's easy for it to hit your partner and just hurt them for no reason. Never touch co-op. Highly recommend recycling co-op ASAP.
Yeah. Okay, next thing, live blood.
I
It's
have
removed.
no idea what this does and it doesn't drop anymore,
Yeah,
does
it's
it?
removed. Next
Yeah.
item, direct current.
Next time. This is basically it's a side grade of unstable current. Its scaling is worse. It doesn't get as insane as unstable current does, but starts off more strong.
Yeah,
Starts off way stronger than unstable. So this is more consistent but weaker over
yeah. It's overall a
consistency.
speak.
Consistency is probably the most important thing in any roguelike. So I would say this is better than unstable, but it noticeably does scale a lot more than unstable does. So if you want to gamble, unstable is better.
Yep. Okay, next item, Ring of Experience. It's a recycle. It's an instant recycle if you don't need experience, and most of the time you don't need experience if you don't like starting like right away.
It's a good credit gain in loop because rings spawn constant in loop. So
Yeah,
yeah, I guess.
Blood Bolt. It's better than the Heartseeker, that's for sure. It's okay for bonus DPS if you like. If you find it, you can keep it if you have high fire rate weapons. But it's mediocre at all, so it should be like swapped with something better. Like it's overall a mediocre item.
So next, there's not much to say, but
Yeah, it
just
just shoots bonus projectiles when you like that's home towards enemies. It's not that good. It's not that bad. It's mediocre. That's all.
Next item, module core.
It
There's
just gives
nothing
you a
much to
module.
say.
That's all. That's all.
It's really strong, but you can't control when you get it, so it's
Yeah,
random. If you get it and you get the correct module, if you get like fucking unceasing charge or a routine out of this, it's fucking hilarious. Or like
dude.
shield if you don't have shield.
I fucking got piece and pieces on assassin with fucking Mjolnir and backstab.
You know what the best feeling with this item is?
Huh?
You know what the best feeling? Getting charge on breacher with a Cario and unceasing.
Mm. Ooh, dude.
That's the best feeling in the game, dude. Breacher is
Yeah,
like one of the
but
best
imagine
stats in the game.
getting those three modules like at the same time.
Like play co-op, get unceasing from your partner, get Cario, and then get charge from this. That'd be
Yeah.
fucking hilarious.
Okay, Ring of Glass.
This is good but hard to get.
Yeah.
It's a free item and it has a good chance of giving you a token item
It
like any
also
other.
like a free money to be honest. Like
Yeah,
it.
it's also free. It's free. It's better than picking up an item because it's free money in addition to getting an item,
But
basically.
if you
Uh,
get hit, it's also this thing. If you pick up when bleeding, this thing will insta break. So be careful.
it's risky. It's hard to use. It's better in co-op because you can just AFK and let your partner take care of
Yeah,
everything.
it's overall a
It's
okay. It's a good item to find if you can proc it. Otherwise, it's not.
bloodthirsty ring.
I
Okay,
think
this
it's
item
useless
is
because the
it's free money. It's free money.
okay, yeah, it's free money, but the
Deconstructor is not that good.
yeah,
That's the
it's
thing.
recycle bonus is like it's bad. It's bad. You can
Only
remove your
thing, the
HP.
only thing I like this thing for is in co-op when you're playing with a transmutate engineer. Like
Yeah,
your partner can recycle this into the red item and give the engineer to recycle it into another red item. So that
but
can
no,
be
I don't think
quite.
the heal like the Angie if he recycles the thing like what was the reconstructor he'll lose max HP so it's never worth recycling.
It's not bugged anymore, by the way. It doesn't only take away max HP now. It sometimes gives max.
It's like the percentage
It's
that
not
like
giga, it's not giga bugged right now anymore. It used
yeah
to be giga bugged.
it's overall not like I don't think it's like viable to
It's not favorable. It's definitely like recently you couldn't get max HP from it at all. It
yeah,
only
nah,
gave you
you
like
could
it only,
have get it but only like on 250% and so it would be like so small like for like 50 HP it's never
now,
worth it.
now cycle to like base percentages to get it, which
Yeah.
is fine.
Okay, next
Okay,
item.
so
Icarus.
this is the only useful laser item. This is the only useful one. This isn't terrible. This is not like completely useless. The only issue with this is that's easy for it to friendly fire you, and the
Yeah.
damage it deals with fire is quite high, especially if you get the reset. But in terms of just laser weapons, in terms of laser items in general, this is the only one that's actually good. This is the only one that's like that can do something
Yes.
consistently, but
Damage
it's a
is
risky item.
yeah. Damage is like mediocre on it. It can friendly fire damage you and like it's you need to be close for it to proc. So it's meh. If you find it, you can keep it if you like.
Or for laser, this is
Yeah,
really
for later
good, but like
it's awesome. But if you like feel it, you can keep it. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it. But it's fun. It's fun to use though, cause like it's cool. Like fucking laser like coming from the sky. It's cool. I like it. But it's not that good.
okay, next item.
Useless. It's
This
useless.
thing used to be really good in tactical, but tactical now you start with shields,
Yeah.
so
So
it's not good in tactical.
it's now legit useless.
Like it used to, like in before in tactical,
Yeah.
this was the easiest way to kill last defender because it was like it was constantly proccing, so you just walk up to last defender and died instantly from this.
Yeah.
But
I used it on MI. It was funny. I liked it. But now it's useless.
now it's just not used. Don't use this in co-op either way. This is like the easiest way to kill someone in co-op. Please
Yeah.
don't use this.
Don't use it.
Like if you use this in co-op, your partner should probably just kill you for it. Because holy shit, are you fucking trolling?
Yep, it's useless. You should never use it. It's instant cycle item. It's just free cash item if you find it. It's not useful. Next
Okay,
thing.
next one, Living Bomb, another free cash item.
Yeah,
Another
it's bad. This thing is bad. Like there's nothing
blow
funny about it.
yourself up, blow yourself up for fucking shitty invincibility frames. Like the damage you take from this is most of the time going to be worse than the damage you mitigate from the invincibility frames,
Yeah,
unless you're trying to fucking use this in front of an ion or something. But like, if you use this in front of an ion, you're an idiot because if you mistime it, you die instantly. So
yep.
please,
The iframes is how long is it? Like 1.5 like 0.5 seconds.
It's like not even. I think you barely even feel the iframes. Like
Yeah,
holy
it's
shit.
useless. Its item is useless. You should insta recycle it. It's bad. It's bad. There's nothing good about this.
You try to do that like gimmicky build where you like try to use a fractor crystal to absorb the damage or something stupid like
Yeah,
that.
but
Just don't
like
use it.
you need to like do a gimmicky
You
build
need
for it
to
to
waste
work.
your fractor crystal for that, and you also need to waste an item slot on it. Please don't. It's
Nah,
not
yeah,
good.
it's not. It doesn't work.
Okay,
Okay.
next one is Sticky Bomb, another kind of useless item. It's more useful than the other two, but it's like still like pretty
Yeah,
questionable.
it's.
This
I
is
would say it's like it's bad even on like demo on.
demo.
Yeah, but I think Breacher can like benefit from it because he can just run around it. So
Yeah,
it's
it's really easy to kill your partner with this in co-op. By the way, it doesn't
yeah,
show on the ground until those second explosions. So don't use in co-op either. This is really easy to friendly fire with and murder your partner.
yeah.
If you use this in co-op, you're actually fucking trolling. But
It's overall of a mediocre. It's
Shark
mediocrely
really
bad.
needs Shark really needs to disable Fan of Knives and Sticky Bomb in co-op. Like these things are so troll in co-op.
Yeah. Okay. Next item, Magic Mag. It's finally
Good
something good.
item. Good item. I would say this is not top tier anymore because current meta doesn't really need it much, but
If you find it,
this
it's super good to keep because it's just free shield refresh, free buffs. It's
this also doesn't work the way it says on the tooltip. It only
yeah,
gives you accuracy and rate of fire. It does not give you damage. It does not give you mail effect, and it does not like okay, it's like this is like the worst tooltip in the game, I think. One of the worst
tooltips
ones.
in this game are overall fucking garbage. They don't.
But
Yes, it's
basically this is really good in general. It's usually not necessary if you have the meta set up, but like you don't really like the meta setup is power shot plus twin link plus shock impulse. If you have that, it's not really needed, but
yeah.
uh,
Also the refractor crystal is like I think is part of the meta
yeah,
'cause
it's also yeah, that's the defensive part of
yeah,
it. That's
like
like
if you
the
have all those four items, like you can like
your
avoid it
four.
with
You should
anything.
just token those four items on like every class, and you're fine.
Yeah, but like playing with four of those items tokens are stale and boring, so you should never do
Yeah,
that.
it is. It is. But if you're like serious about looping, you want to like learn loop. It's like the easiest way
Yeah,
to be effective in loop without like completely ruining the difficulty.
but
Like
it's
you'll still.
super
Still
stale, so you should like if it's only for learning, you should never like go all classes with those setups because it will be
it is literally like the best setup, but if
yeah,
you
but it's
don't,
so
it
bad
gets
to
really
play with it.
boring really easy.
It's not worth to play with because it's not fun and not enjoyable because everything is like same. I don't
Yeah,
think
but
it's
if you want to like push the furthest, if you want like what's literally the strongest available, that's your best bet basically.
yeah. I think that those four items only like good on assassin because he doesn't need anything.
They're broken on right guard, they're broken on breacher, they're
Yeah,
broken on. Let's see, they're broken on anyone. Okay, so next item.
Madden
Okay, so
is
Magic. Okay, let's go back to Magic Man because one thing I forgot to mention about
yep.
this because we got sidetracked. This item is really good with Null Near. This is the best item in the game if you have Null Near because this
Yes.
thing gives infinite and it also deals with its heat issues. So
Yeah.
if you're using the
Also,
Null
yes.
Near,
Give me a second. Magic Mac doesn't like give you ammo from the like Mac from the ammo you have. It generates a
it
new
just
ammo. Like it
gives you free ammo, generates out
yeah,
thin
it just
air.
gives you free ammo from from nowhere. It also removes heat, so it's quite good on Mjolnir. So it's just free ammo because Mjolnir's ammo
It's
economy is
also,
quite
also really
bad.
good on Ion. It's really good on Ion. It's good on Ion too. Ion doesn't need as much because it has decent ammo economy
Yeah, but
anyways.
it's
But
heat
this
problem on Ion.
yeah. But this is basically if you're using reds, if you're using the best reds in the game, this is the item you want. This is probably the best. This is the item that synergizes the best with the best reds in the game. So even if it's not super meta, it still has a place in one of the best and strongest builds in the game.
Yep.
So it's worth looking out for this item if you have those reds that we've
Okay,
mentioned.
next item go. Madness button. It's a meme item. There's like nothing good about this. It just straight up makes game more difficult and nothing good.
It's not worth using this unless you want to use a high terror level run. High terror level is, in my opinion, a fun run, but the only issue with it is the bosses get too much HP. The bosses get enough HP to like take years to kill. So if you want to use this, by all means, use it for high tier level. It's never actually worth it. The theoretical rewards you get for high tier level never ever actually outscale
Yes.
the amount of power you give enemies from the tier level. So don't like
If you like just want to like beat LG and finish the run, like if you just need to complete the game, never use this item. It's overall just makes the game harder and like
It's
less.
just there for people who are bored with the base game's difficulty
Yeah.
but don't want to play loop. Like if you don't want to play loop to have like a difficult challenge, you can use this instead.
Yes. You can just like sit in the boss room and spam it until you have like 1k or something terror level, but it will be like very time consuming.
Just so boring.
Yeah,
Like it's fun until you get the boss fights, and the
yeah,
boss
and
is just
it takes forever to kill. It's not worth it.
honestly, I think Terror level should have its boss HP scaling nerfed because I would play Madness more if I would play like Madness button runs more if bosses just didn't take 10 years to kill because like the mobs get really interesting with high Terror level. Like it's super fun fighting the base mobs. They actually get fun again for pre loop, but
I don't like high terror levels just because the fucking shotgunners feel like from full screen they'll just like be like in front of you in
dash.
one dash. It's stupid. I don't like
Yeah.
it just because of this. That's all.
But I play Breacher, so I don't care. Those
Yeah,
shotguns get
I
murdered.
don't. I play like everything like a little bit. So
Okay,
shield
so
decoy. It's
the
just
next item this is bad for the same reason
it's
the regular
decoy,
decoy is
but
bad.
it's like more cash. That's all.
It's like it's pretty mediocre.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a summon
no,
that
like
doesn't
it's
do
like
anything.
a decoy, but it has like more like armor. That's all. Its thing is this
Yeah,
thing is useless as decoy, but it explodes when it like dies. So you should never
yeah.
stay.
It's also pretty bad because you can like kill you in loop if
Yeah,
you're not
it's
expecting it.
bad. You should never like you should recycle this all the time.
Okay,
Cause
next item, Old Nugget. This is actually really good if you have the correct setup for it. If you
yes,
don't have the correct setup for it, I recommend cycling. But if you have items or effects that scale with this, like Breacher, Ammo
with
TP,
luck.
yeah, if there's anything that scales with luck, like Ammo TP, Twin Link
This thing gives
effects,
you 50 luck when you pick this up. Also, you should if you don't have like full set and you don't need cash for a moment, you can keep this to have like more luck. Luck overall increase the drop rates and chest spawns, so you can keep this for
very placeable. So it's not
yeah,
like don't expect much from it, but it's like still
yeah.
useful. Like
It's
it's
okay
still
for
like
what it is.
Also, this also gives luck to both players in
Yes.
co-op if you work there. So if in co-op there's more build options because you can have some person hold this, so the other person has a shit ton of like luck scaling effects like gun drone spawner, currents, and other shit like
Also, I
that.
forgot to mention the gun drone spawner works even if you dead in co-op.
Yeah, it works permanently in co-op, and then it also works like perfectly. It works for both players. It doesn't matter who's holding the gun drone spawner.
Yep, we forgot to mention that. Fuck. Okay, whatever.
And there's another part about gun drone spawner that we didn't mention. It also works off its own death. So if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
if your
yeah.
drone
But
that
like,
spawns dies, it can respawn. Okay. So next one, custom upgrade kit. This is I see people like try to like token this for some strange reason. This
yeah,
is
it's
okay.
good if you find it, but it's okay if you don't.
It makes any gun better, not
Yeah,
by much, but
it's
like
essential in the Raptor build, by the way. If you don't have this on,
yeah, you need this on Raptor. Good luck with the heats. This or like heat sink or magic
nah,
mag or
you should
something.
token this with like Heatsink and Magic Mag, because it will make it so much easier to control this thing.
This is also really nice. The heavy gunner starts with this because
Yeah,
this actually has pretty significant stat boost. So starting with this is pretty nice with heavy gunner. Especially the deviation and heat generation. Those two stats are really important to get lower. But overall, it's not something you should like. If you find it like in a shop, it's worth buying. If you have a good gun to use it on, definitely worth
yeah,
buying. But yeah, I wouldn't token this unless you're doing Raptor build, basically.
yeah. Next thing, intensity chamber. This thing is good if you have ammo problems. Otherwise, it's not. The
So basically, if you're using like or if you're using like laser sub, it's good. If you have a divine weapon, it's good. And if you like a divine weapon, it's hard to sustain.
yeah.
If you have a red weapon like Nolnir, this is also good. But if you don't have like absolutely terrible ammo issues, like you need ammo issues that like loot ammo drops can't solve, and this is good. But if you don't have that kind of ammo
Also,
issues, it's
active ability of this item is straight up trash. Never use it because it makes the item useless for like a long time. It's a passive item. You should never use the active ability of it. Is this thing like scales with upgrades? Because I never like use this.
I've never upgraded it. I don't know. I
Okay,
just
same.
it's okay. It's only good for certain situations. It's not good as a general item.
Yeah,
Just basically, it's only good for like laser sub or no near stacking or like something like that.
yeah, but it's overall not worth it. It's just
Okay.
Magnum.
Okay, so this is kind of shit, but like if you have nothing better, it can be
Yeah,
useful
it's
for killing
overall
hard.
a okay sidearm to like keep you safe if you need like the bonus like DPS or something. If you don't have
It's
any
way
health.
too hard. in my opinion, for how like it doesn't even have piercing, which is the
Yeah,
worst
but
thing. It
it
doesn't.
can stunt things. It's okay to have if you don't have anything else. Like if you don't have like your token items yet, and you find this like on like early game, this is good to have because it can straight up like one shot like early game enemies. So it's
Okay,
fine to
so
have.
bandana. This is actually just like
I found it only 10
i-
times, dude.
if you haven't noticed this, by the way, when this thing is active, your firing slowdown, like whenever you shoot, becomes extremely high. You cannot actually shoot and dash at the same time because your movement speed reduction will be so high that you can't dash at all. So this item basically you cannot shoot while using it. The only time it's really useful is if you're doing some like super meme heavy gunner build where you want to like
No,
have
this
if
also
dash.
this is for, I think it can be meme used like as a meme thing with like the electric boots and this thing on raiders, so you can just like dash around or ride
Yeah,
guards.
but like the one time it's like actually like half useful is on Raider or Heavy Gunner, where you can keep dashing over and over again to have infinite iframes. But
Yeah, but it just gives you items you
it's
need.
it's
Yeah,
not very good. Like literally, just refractor crystal is better. So I'm not
yeah,
sure why you'd bother.
yeah. Okay, next
Okay, so item.
fangs.
This is the best red item, Fangs of
Yes, yes.
Morrigan.
It just straight up remove the fragile effect, and it also helps you stack
You know,
HP. It's just straight up good.
usually this is only good for like stopping fragile from ruining your HP. You can't really hard stack it compared to fragile. Like fragile will always like outpace it by a
Yeah,
bit.
but still,
Um,
it's removes fragile, and you stack HP with fragile with it, so it's straight up broken. Like it,
you can only stack hard amounts of HP if Fragile's off. If Fragile's off, this thing can stack extreme amounts of HP, but if Fragile's on, it can give you like slight amounts of bonus HP, but generally speaking, it will just keep Fragile down like most of the time. It's still quite strong because keeping if you're looping, this doesn't matter if you're not looping, but if you're looping, keeping Fragile down is really important
yeah,
because Fragile can steal so much HP away from you in loop and get you to points where you can get one shot easily by basically any enemy. This makes it so you can't be like worn down by fragile in the long term, and it also gives you like slight amounts of bonus HP compared to it. If you don't have fragile on, this thing is way stronger because you can get like super silly amounts of HP with this if fragile is off, because like you could get like 80k HP, no problem. But
yeah. But
so yeah, it's strong. It's very strong. Always worth having a slot. I think if you have an optimal build, this isn't worth it. Like if you have like shock impulse, if you have the three meta items, refractor crystal, glider, and a bunch of other shit, like this can sometimes be a bit questionable. But
but if you like, I
if
think this thing can like change the GPS if you have one. If you don't need it, like
yeah, this is better than GPS at the very least.
yeah.
I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. Like item slots is so hard to
Yeah,
like
but like
tell what's better.
it depends on the situation. But most of the time, this thing is quite good to have if you're going for loops, and it's also quite good to have if you like just like if you find this early game. Otherwise, if you're just going for the LD, like for like one LD kill and you
It's not
quit.
it's not that good for
Yeah.
LD.
Okay, let's
Okay,
go.
so next okay, first off, if before anyone's wondering about the Divine Constructor, this thing does not actually revive you at when you die. It procs when you get to like 30%
No,
HP or
less.
around
When you get
there.
to 10% HP, it procs. No, less, like 5% HP probably even.
Oh, no, no, I've had this thing proc to like 20%. I don't think it's that low. This
Okay.
thing can definitely proc those HP values and turns you invincible while it heals you. So this is not actually like a revive, and it's not nearly as good as it sounds.
Yeah, it's oh,
It's kind of
say.
useless in co-op because you can constantly revive if one person's alive. So in co-op this isn't that great,
But to be
but
honest, the Flash, like Curse of the Flash, they
yeah,
will.
but still it's not like
No,
that great in
dude,
co-op.
Curse of the Flash permanently remove 50 shields, so it's quite bad.
But still, like, it's worse. Co-op definitely worse. It's like I don't like this item at all. I
Yeah,
think this
same.
is
This
highly.
item is overall useless because it clubs up an item slot. You
You
need
you know,
to.
like item slots are too important in
Yes, you
this
better
game
just
to
have
ever.
an item than this thing.
Yeah, you're better off like there's quite a few items that aren't better than this, but like if you only have like useless items, if you only pick up useless items, this can be useful. But like if you have like optimal items, this thing has no fucking space.
Yeah,
Like
it's
you
overall.
can't use this over shock impulse. You can't use this over refractor. You can't use this over any of the currents. You can't use this over like a good summon. You can't use this over twin link. You can't use this over power shot. There's so many items that just like you can't get rid of for
Yeah,
this.
because
Like
they just straight up outclass it. Also, this thing is straight up useless in loop because it kills like 10% of your HP when you die, and it's bad. You better just have something useful over it.
better off just have raw power and just
Yeah,
never get to a point where you like it's better to not die in the first place.
yeah. Okay, next item, let's go. Devil's Dice.
That was this is extremely good if
Yes,
you get it when you have a luck build.
yes, dude. Also, this thing is also very good if you play in a crit build. Like the green classes can get insanely high crit builds, and this
It's
thing.
just a second. This gives a crit too, by the way, because of
How
luck
much does
scaling
it give
crit.
you? Like,
If you like upgrade this heavily, you can easily get to 50 luck off the lucky.
no,
I mean
no.
50 crit off the lucky.
Oh,
I
so
don't know. I don't know what the exact scaling of luck to crit is. I think it's like half, or I think it's like nerfed for the interaction. But this thing can easily give you, if you like upgrade this to like 200% or 300%, this thing can give you enough luck to
yeah,
have
yeah.
max
This thing
crit.
can give you a shit ton of luck, and you can just like run a luck build with this thing only.
Yeah, it's extremely good if you get it. It's always worth getting because recycling it is very strong.
Yeah, it's
Ideally, you should save it. You should not recycle until you can upgrade it at an upgrade station.
yeah,
But
but also
if you
this.
get
Okay, let me. Also, this thing is overall good for bonus DPS if you don't get if you like have a normal like two point like 2 times crit damage. This thing is good just to have bonus DPS for like early game to like the first LD fight. Otherwise, the in loops, this thing is not that good because everything will die either way with it or without it.
yeah, like it's only the damage this thing gives you is only good pre post loop. It's not. It's only good for the luck. Don't take it for the crit post loop. Next item.
Next, at the Madness Glasses.
Extremely good item.
Yes. Okay,
Very good.
dude, a question. How much times do you had this item?
Not many because it never drops.
I
I've
have
only picked it up
16
14
times,
times.
dude, and I played this game for a shit ton of time. That's
I have 14 times. This is in 2 years. So this thing is super fucking rare for some strange. Most red items are extremely rare,
yeah,
and
but
then
this
you
thing
can.
is super rare. It's
It's
like
also because you can't afford them at shops because of how fucking expensive these things can be
yeah,
in
but
shops in late game. Like I'd take Madness Glasses late game if I could fucking afford it, but like often you can't.
yeah. Also,
Um,
this thing like night vision can be like removed if you open up the map, so you can have the damage and lifesteal boost without like an annoying like night vision effect.
but like this thing has enough healing, enough lifesteal. It used to be worse back when like Loop stole your healing stat to like
Yeah,
1 after a certain. Now that it's capped at 20, this thing can in one floor this can bring you from 1 HP to 100%. Like this is always worth having. This is an optimal item. This thing is basically just like a full heal once you proc it. Um, it's incredibly powerful, just very annoying to use because of the night vision bullshit. Like that can
dude.
get you
No,
killed.
it's
Like
quite. You just open the map. That's all. The night
even
vision
with,
boost is
even with
gone.
the
That's all.
map, like you can get like ambushed like invisible enemies. You know those invisible enemies that walk around on, like the
Yeah,
second
yeah, yeah,
floors.
yeah.
Those guys, if you don't have GPS, those guys can easily fucking flank you
Yeah.
because of the night vision. And
Dude,
Ion,
I'm
like
telling you, you can remove the night vision effect by opening the map. That's all. It's
um,
full on removes the red thing. You just open the map and this thing is fucking gone. I'm telling you.
it's still annoying as shit to play with the fucking map in front of you, dude.
Dude, you opened it once and you close it and it's gone.
Okay, well that's blocked and needs to be fixed.
Try to fuck it. I'm not wasting my time on this because this thing is way too rare for it to like
That needs a fix then, because that sounds really fucking retarded. Because like this item is too broken
dude,
not to have a
this item is too
downside.
rare. I got it 16 fucking times. For
It
like
used to be a starter item on old Commando, by the way. This
yes, yeah,
thing
yeah,
used to
yeah.
be a starter item
Yeah.
on old Commando. It was fucking stupid.
Yeah, I remember
Um.
those times. It was fun. It was
Okay,
funny.
so next item. This is about Madness Class is actually optimal. Always keep this thing.
Yeah,
Now
if you
that
find it.
healing does not go more than 20%, it's always a full heal, even in loop. This thing is broken as shit. Always worth having.
Yes. Okay, next
Um.
item. Orb of Flaking. It's
Very good CC.
yes,
Very good
it's
CC.
also super fun to use because
Yeah,
the
it's very fun to use. It's like it can have like really high proc chances. It can like you can spam proc this with certain setups. It's not the most powerful item in the world because like shock impulse exists and
yeah, but
shock impulse the same thing, but kills them instead of stunning them.
Yeah, I think
Um,
shuriken bolt should be red instead of the orb of lightning, in my opinion.
basically. But this is still a good item. Very
Yeah,
good CC. You can stun entire groups. It's overall strong, but it's not an optimal item. There are
yeah,
way better items that
dude,
exist.
it's overall a good item to have. It's fun and it's cool. That's enough for me to have it.
It's not- it's definitely not top tier. It's not as
Yeah,
good as some people think, but
I think it's like no,
it's
it's
still
probably like at least a high B tier, low A tier.
yeah, it's still good. Not
Yeah,
not bad, but like really.
yeah, it's quite good.
Okay.
Blood right,
Alright, this thing is fucking useless except for the recycle.
dude.
Don't try to use
No,
it,
yeah, no,
please
don't try to use
God.
it. If you can, if you have slots, you should keep this, upgrade this, and have more healing from this. Also,
Not that good anymore.
warm
Not
up
that good
completely breaks
anymore.
this item. This item scales
Doesn't.
at 1.2 times with your like multiplier. So if you're playing demo and you like have a chance to find this item would be not 120% power, but 144%. So if you play in right guard, I would highly recommend playing with warm up because this thing can, if this thing drops and you like 20 levels in, it can give you a shit ton of healing back.
I don't think it's that good anymore because after the healing changes to loop, it's hard to really stack healing to high levels anymore. But now
Yeah,
you
but
always
still,
have a
it's
gear.
it's broken with warm up.
I don't think it's like it's a good, but I don't think it's like broken. I think like something like weapon mastery is probably still better because of the stuns.
Warm up
Like
is like good because
well, it's
it's
really
just overall good a good thing to have.
okay, but yeah, I don't know. Blood Right's been definitely like it's definitely weaker now after the loop
Yeah,
changes. It
but
used to be really
it just turns up a
it's
recycle
still
item.
it's still good. Don't ever try to use this, only
Yeah,
recycle it.
or
You
that's all.
try okay, so next item, this was another recycle item. Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna list all the problems with this item because people think this is like so good. This
No,
is such an amazing
no,
item, but
no. Okay,
there are lots of flaws. Okay, first off, losing your shields is terrible because shields are way better than HP as a stat. Shields let you not die instantly to stuff like ions and
they
snipers.
regenerate.
And they also have constant regeneration, which means that this thing's like HP regeneration is not actually that good because you're losing your shield, which already had like constant regeneration. Second malice of this thing is at high HP, which is easy to have because of its massive HP regeneration. This thing debuffs you instead of buffing you. It debuffs
Fire rate.
your fire rate, so your weapons fire rates go down super slow. They can even go below their default fire rate
Yes.
if they're highly upgraded. You get your damage absorb debuffed, so stuff like ions and ball bots can like straight up insta kill you if you get hit by them when you're at full HP, which is fucking hilarious. Um, and this thing also constantly procs fragile, so you're constantly losing HP over and over and over and over again. So eventually, it's just going to fucking destroy your HP pool, and you'll just get insta killed by any high damage enemy when you're at max HP. So this thing is only
Okay, now
a four
about the best thing about this item. Recycle bonus on
recycle.
this thing is straight up broken. It gives you life steal per every. It's like the heavy gunner's talent, but it's like twice as good. It gives
It's anti. Heavy gunners is flat healing,
yeah, but it
but
gives
this is percentage,
percentage.
so it's more like AMD.
Yeah, how much percent does it give you? Like 5% or what? 10?
I don't know what the exact number is. You have to ask Shrike for that. It's impossible to tell what the
Yeah, but
actual
overall,
number.
it's how if this thing didn't proc fragile constantly and like didn't debuff you, it would be so much better.
There's only one class that's broken. Okay, it's actually kind of broken on demo and assassin because they have damage caps, which
Yes,
mostly
but
whoever this
it's
thing
still a bad thing to
off.
have because
It's
it
broken on assassin. It's broken on assassin. It's like the strongest enemy in deal assassin because he has like plating and dodge and all that shit, and he
yeah,
combined
but
with the
still
massive heat.
better off just recycle it to use it. It's just better off to recycle it.
Oh, on every class but assassin, I would say. I think on
Nah,
assassin is worth it.
I don't think it's worth an assassin to be honest.
I would recommend you try to like use it on assassin a bit then
On
because it's
assassin,
very
just it
strong.
just makes the smoke like twice as useless.
What do you mean? Smoke gives you more iframes on health damage, so not really.
But it's still like not
Okay.
that good to be honest.
I've used this on assassin. I've face tanked multiple ions and
Dude,
not
you can
died.
face tank on
No, but like
assassin.
I've like literally played like a fucking retard. I've taken like ball bots to the face. I've like stood right in the middle of like minigun turrets and laser turrets and not died. I think there might be some weird interaction with this in assassin. You basically become immortal once you get this on him, but on
Uh,
everyone else, recycle it, please.
yes. Okay. Next thing, Incubus. It's overall a good item, but I think it's still bug right now, right? Right when you drop it, it gives you the minus damage absorb, right?
I haven't checked that, but it could be. If it still does that, it's useless. Don't pick it up if it's still
No, no.
bugged.
You
Like,
can pick this up, but you should never drop this either other way. So it's like right now it's full commitment because if you pick this up, it gives you minus 20 damage absorb
I
permanently.
haven't, I haven't tested it, by the way, so don't say it does it like
No, I
this right
mean,
now. I need it.
just like if there wasn't a stealth patch that's like Shrek likes to do, then this thing is still broken, and you should like,
It's also a questionable loop, by the way. This is
yeah,
not worth it in loop.
it's like in loop if you not upgrade, it's okay to have if you don't upgrade it in loop, but if
I
you
don't
just
think like I don't know. I don't like the loop because it can put you in like one shot thresholds.
yeah,
You know,
true,
like you
true,
get
but
you
otherwise,
drained
it's
over.
if you're just going for LG, that's the like one of
Yeah,
the
it's one of the best pre-loop items. Always take this in pre-loop.
yeah
And also some people think it's bugged and doesn't deal damage to enemies. It does deal damage to enemies. It just does like very very little
like
because it's
20
it's only draining like
20% or
it's
so.
only draining like 10 HP per second,
Yeah,
which is a
it's
lot on a player, but it's not much on like enemies because enemies
yeah
have like thousands of HP.
yeah. Okay, next item. Face
Okay,
melter.
face melter.
It's useless,
It's
dude.
only okay. It's good for if you're doing meme builds. This is actually like the most hilarious. I've done demo meme builds, like sniper rifles with demo
Oh,
with this in my
with your
inventory,
rocket,
and I
dude.
use this for procking his resonator. Like that's a fucking hilarious meme
Yeah,
build.
yeah,
That's the definition of a meme build.
yeah,
But
dude. Imagine this with fucking M32, and you try to hit headshot with it. Fuck.
no, this plus flat cannon and go for headshots
Oh
with the
yeah,
flat cannon
that's
because
even funnier.
flat's really good at headshotting. This is the ultimate meme builder, or you can recycle it for like an actually good recycle effect, more explosive damage.
Yeah,
This is incredibly powerful on like it's
demo.
incredibly powerful on every class, not just demo, because your M32 exists and that's like broken on everyone. But
Yeah, but like,
um,
no one
for
like no one
demo,
will
for
use
demo,
this.
for demo, unless you're doing meme builds, which is very, very, very viable, I recommend doing a face melter meme build ASAP because it's hilarious. But
Dude, you need to find a
if
face
you
melter, so it's not like
if
that.
you yeah, if you're not doing a meme build, just recycle it. If you're doing a meme build, it's hilarious and it's probably the best meme build in the game.
Okay, next item. Uranium is garbage.
Uh,
I think it's garbage,
it's only good for boss killing. This is
but it's not
useful
worth it.
in
It's
tactical. This is useful in tactical, but other than that, it's not worth it. I've found some uses for this weapon with like SPOS 12 builds with like dot
yeah, but
heavy builds.
you
SPOS
better
12,
just having
like
another weapon that does DPS other than this shit. Like just straight up damage buffs is better than uranium because uranium
yeah,
is dot and dot isn't a good thing because this is the burst
yeah,
game.
so
Not
this is only used for bosses, but bosses aren't like actually a big deal in this
yeah
game. Bosses are significantly easier than regular enemies, so it's not really recommended
yeah
to build around bosses, except for tactical. In tactical, this can be a free tactical win because bosses are probably the biggest issue in tactical,
yeah.
but
But this thing can also
even
like kill you in
yeah,
the
it's
tactical, so
red.
you should be careful.
No, it doesn't really.
Like
Oh, it
if
can, but
it can, but like
just don't upgrade. Don't upgrade it. Just don't upgrade.
yeah. Okay, next thing, fire
Okay, next
prism.
pretty mediocre.
Yeah,
Might be
I think it's just a worse like the power array thing, but it can proc all the time if you're lucky enough like me. So
You might notice a trend by now that the red items are kind of dog shit,
no,
and if like most of
they
most of them,
special, dude. They're special.
yeah, but they're like pretty weak. Some will say
Yeah,
like compared to like red weapons. Like red weapons are
yeah.
clearly
Revenant's
like
straight up
extremely
like broken.
powerful,
This thing is like
but,
meh at
but these
best.
things there's a couple of them that are really strong, but the rest are like they're worse than purple items.
Yeah, even then worse than some of the blue items, to be honest.
But so basically, fire prism pretty
Yeah,
mediocre.
it's okay to have
Just
it if you have it and you like lack
it's
the
another filler item, like which is not good for a red. Like red should not be
yeah.
filler items, but it is what it is. It's a filler item. If you don't have your token items, if you don't have the broken items yet, you can use this thing for a bit additional DPS in the early game because in the early game your damage output can be lacking.
I think
But
this
late
thing also
game,
has piercing shots, so it can be used for like
Well, late game, your damage is never lacking,
Yeah.
generally speaking. So this is never worth it late game. Um, so yeah, it's
You,
sad that
you
this is
dude,
actually
you can keep it if you like it. If you like just like the red thing that Proxy like time to time. I do this because it's
it's
funny. I like it.
sounds I guess, but it's pretty sad that like a red
Yeah,
item is a filler item. That's not how it should work.
yeah, but
But
it's item in general. They just not balanced at
okay.
all. Okay, next item.
So next item, this is not better than a lot of summons.
Yeah,
This is an
but
okay
this
item.
thing can be useful if you can control it. Otherwise, it's
The
bad.
biggest thing for this is probably like Doom Buzz because you can like have Doom
Yeah,
Buzz run at
yeah.
enemies, goes
It can
up.
also be
But
used on like gliders and like ions or some strong mobs to like
I like Chrono
Diagro.
Troopers, I guess, like to
Yeah,
get them off you. Like if an elite Chrono Trooper jumps you, this is probably the best way to get them off you.
yeah.
But
It's just it's a Diagro tool to, and like just a meat shield tool. It's
but
okay.
it's like consistently worse than like other
Yeah,
summons. Like
it's worse than other
Stinger,
summons.
Gun Drone Spawner, and I would even argue DMR Turret are better than
Yeah,
this.
cause
But
like it's not consistent. Cause
yeah.
and
Like you
it's
can't consistently get good enemies to drag with this, and you also
yeah.
need to be in a fight to use it. You
And
can't just
also,
pre.
enemies that you control will aggro on you when this thing ends. So
Yeah, and it's hard to sometimes see when it ends because like in a fight you can't really pay attention to that.
yeah, so you need to kill enemy before like it aggroes on you,
Yeah,
or
there's just so many caveats. This the only time it's like truly exceptional is if there's a Doomba involved. At that
yes,
point, it's quite good. But Doombas are very rare enemies. You only find Doombas often enough to make this thing like super good.
yeah. Also,
So
I want to point I think one thing. Why the fuck Doombas are so tanky? Like you legit can't kill them.
they're not meant. They're meant so for it to because the way they work is that when they get next to you, they stop
Yeah,
moving while they
and
start.
yeah, you
So you
that's how you
have to be able to
should
dash.
dodge them. But you should have an option to kill them from afar. But like that's just not.
You know what's funny? I've had builds that can actually like, straight up kill them, but
Yeah,
like,
same.
every
But
time
like it's so rare. Like it's not viable.
you're the tankiest enemy in the game that's not a boss,
Yeah,
basically.
it's not.
Like
I think they even take it some bosses probably and loop at least.
I wouldn't say they're tankier than most bosses. Maybe like
Maybe then
maybe like
object probably.
maybe slime and the arena masters,
Okay,
but I would
probably.
say experiment is tankier than this thing.
Yeah. Okay. Next item. Let's go to next item. Okay. Aircom.
Um,
It's starting item of the raider. That's all I can say about this. It's only good on the
it's
breacher
starting
on
item, but
and the demolitioner.
it's really good on Breacher, by the
Yes.
way. This thing can reset its cooldowns, and it's really good in co-op because Breacher Raider is actually quite strong because you can just have Raider reset
Yeah.
Breacher's cooldowns over again. But other than that, the damage is mediocre unless you invest into it. Investing into it is not usually that good of an idea because when you do invest into it, it's inconsistent due to the high delay. This is not a good item in loop unless you want to cheese things through walls. You can use it to cheese things like HE grenades, but again, I wouldn't
It
recommend.
can be used pre-loop to just deal damage to enemies. But
Yeah,
damage is
let me
overall
get
like
it. Like,
mediocre. Item
get it.
is it's
It saves it as well with Raider a bit because you can soften up enemies so you can finish them off with your knife.
yeah.
So there's that.
But most of the time, you just
Overall,
kill them and like, cause like pre-loop enemies isn't that tanky.
overall, it's just it's another filler item, which is sad for a red, but
Yeah.
that's how it is.
Next item,
Um,
reality reaper.
reality,
I
this
like this
item
item,
is
dude. I like this item because the effects on it are looks cool. It's just
yeah,
essentially
but
a better
super
orbital
mediocre.
wind that can actually kill stuff.
But it's like super mediocre. The
Yes.
damage is super lacking.
Yeah.
Like it's good in hyper adrenaline. This thing is extremely strong in hyper
Yeah.
adrenaline because of its ability to
Kill
jump.
anything.
Like his ability to jump between enemies really fast. Like it one shots them and then jumps, and one shots
Yeah.
them and then jumps. But like if you're not playing hyper adrenaline, and there's no way to get this thing consistently in hyper adrenaline, then it's not that good. It's another filler red item. It's good until you get the real items. Blah blah blah. It's pretty mediocre otherwise.
Yeah, I like to keep it just because it looks cool. That's all. But yeah, this can aggro a pack of enemies you don't want to aggro, so you should be careful about this.
Okay, so next item. This
Akio.
item is useless on everyone but one class.
Yes, and this
On
class
this
not
one
even
class,
it's not even demo. It's breacher.
on Breacher, this makes you the strongest class in the game
Yes,
objectively.
yes,
No one can compete with Akira Breacher, but it's not easy to get Akira Breacher every single time. Obviously, it's very inconsistent. But if you get Akira Breacher, is suddenly just unkillable. You can't lose that. Plus, like high cooldown items, you can literally spam refractor crystal like 6 times per floor. You can chain if you have 2 refractor crystals, you can chain them over and over again, over and over again. You can chain a refractor into a you can like go what's it called, like a stinger, and then once the stinger's off cooldown, once it's ticking down, you can go into refractor, start blowing shit up on top of you. You set the cooldown with the stinger and then summon it again. You can just keep abusing this over and over again until like you basically become the best item abuser as Breacher, and you have extreme speed because it's constantly giving you speed boost. You have extremely low cooldowns on literally any item. Uh, it turns Breacher
Into a
from a
god.
strong
So essentially,
from
just
strong class to like Zer incarnate basically.
yeah. It's overall a okay item to have. It's fun to use on like any class, but it just straight up explodes, and it's cool. I liked it. It's essentially
It's all
a worse shit shot impulse, but
yeah.
better than the Orb of Lightning, I think. Cause and also
Yeah,
it can
but
damage you,
but
so you should be
there,
careful.
yeah, but there's also like this is like it's like okay on everyone except Breacher, and on Breacher it's the
Yeah,
strongest item.
yeah. Okay, next item.
So
Red line.
laser item, so it's
No,
bad.
it's not.
It's worse than
It's
I
the
would say it's
worst
worse.
red item in the game. I would argue it might be even like one of the like second worst item in the game.
I would say it's worse than uranium.
Oh
I
yeah,
wouldn't say it's
yeah,
worse
it's not
than
worse than Euro.
or fire prism, maybe
Nah, Fire
fire.
Prism is not isn't that bad, dude. Fire Prism
Well,
is
I would say it's better than divine reconstructor. I would say it's better than divine
okay, yeah,
reconstructor at
true.
least.
But this thing is straight up garbage. You should like recycle it when you find it, because okay, you should like use it once to see what it does if you didn't never find it before, and then recycle it because you'll understand that this thing is straight up trash. Enemies will
It does
aggro
no
on you
damage.
when you
Very
when you
slow.
use it. The damage on this is bad. The laser speed is slow. It's overall a bad item to have. Say.
Okay, so next time it's just a laser weapon. It's just a laser. I mean, it's worse than Icarus, which is fucking hilarious for a
Yeah,
red, but
it just actually
um,
worse than Icarus,
just
because
just just bad.
yeah,
Just
it's
don't
just
use this.
bad.
Use it if you like it, I guess. If you like the gigantic big laser from the heavens, but like if
It's
you actually
bad.
want an item, if you want an item that's not useless, go look somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay,
Um,
next thing.
okay, so do you want Thundering Circuit? This can't spawn in co-op, unfortunately, because of coding issues. It like breaks co-op, so they despawned it. But this is actually quite a fun item. I think this is
Yeah,
one of the funnest items.
but using this item is straight up hard, because environment in
It's
this
hard.
game, environment
Yeah,
scheme
it's very hard.
is like awful. Sometimes this thing can go through a wall and like ricochet like towards like the like left down corner of the if you like shooting it from like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
it's just
It's like it's not a practical item. It's a fun item.
yes.
It's not like very strong, but it's very fun
Nah,
to use.
it's super strong when you can like proc it. It can like straight up
Yeah, but like,
kill you.
that's too inconsistent. That's too
Yes.
inconsistent. You can't, the
Dude,
game
well,
is
to
not
be honest, I can
consistent to it.
proc it like in the LG room with like the test towers behind him.
Yeah, yeah, but like it's overall just a fun item. It's a
Yeah,
very fun item. I think it's worth using. I think it's worth like actually like getting yourself used to it. But as fun as it is, it's unfortunately just not very
yeah,
practical. It's
it's
usually
fun before for like LG, like for like LD kill, but in loop it's not that good, because like loop one it still can be good and useful, but otherwise it's not.
like loop. It's easy for it not to do anything,
Yeah,
and you need your items to do things. Like you can't have a dead item in your inventory. Like
yeah.
it's very unfortunate if you have to have a bad item in your inventory in loop. But okay, so next
Next
item. This
item.
item actually is not terrible anymore because it has 100 pen now.
Okay, nice. Now it can actually kill
It's
stuff.
okay. It's okay though. It's like okay. I
Yeah,
don't think
it's
it's
like
like too.
one two enemies kill button. That's all.
It has a very high range, by the way. This thing's like
Yeah,
2 screens wide
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah. I
terms
know
of
that,
range.
but it's
You can
overall.
actually fire in terms of like just to give like an idea. You can fire it from like one end of the transport arena and then hit an enemy on the other end. So it's very high range, but it's just like single target's the issue. Like
Yeah.
it has no AoE damage, and for single target damage,
No,
it's not like high.
it has like some area effect damage, but it can only like proc it 10, like you can only damage things 10 times, so it can like only damage like 10 enemies. It can, and it's not that good, to be honest. Like it's
Yeah,
good single
it's
target damage. That's
okay
all this thing
now.
is.
It's okay now. It used to be useless and have like 0 pen,
Yeah,
but now it's like
now it's good because it can like at least do like one. It's good boss item that can actually like be useful for mobbing if you need to like kill something chunky. Well, like. And also this Tinker will always home towards enemies, even if you like stay towards like next to the wall and you want to like throw it like like
You can't blow yourself up with it,
nah,
basically.
this thing doesn't blow up. It just goes through like in the wall and just doesn't do anything.
Okay, so next item.
Air
This
horn.
item is. I don't think it's that good because damage and critical strike are not like massive stats that you want. They're
It's
not like
good
stats.
for no, dude. It's this item is quite good honestly, cause this thing can like solo help you to go through LD fight. Cause the
It's
when it
I don't know.
procs,
Like
it can stack your damage up to like 1.5. Like for
my issue is the damage output's not like what you want. Like raw damage and raw critical strike are not like the best stats in the game. Like you'd rather have stuff like accuracy. You'd rather have stuff like AoE damage. You'd rather have like You'd rather just have stats that aren't those two stats because you can get those two stats super easily. Like damage kits give you a lot of access to raw damage, and critical strike can be easily gotten through life. So it's
it's good.
just
It's overall a fun item to use, and you can't
it's
argue like
fun. It's fun, but it's not that good in my opinion.
it's.
It's
No,
okay.
I think it's okay item to have. If you like, I think it's okay to have.
It's like a hilarious item. Obviously, it's like
Yeah,
super high moon potential, but like in terms of like usability, there are plenty of items there.
yeah. There's a shit ton of items that's like better overall, but like you will never find them like you'll never have like full like 9 slots that you need like ever. Or you need to like go to loop 10 to find all like 8 slots you need, but like who will ever do this? It's just boring. It's good like item to like have like two bonus items over there, you know.
Yeah, but okay. So next one, high command.
It's the last
This
one.
I would say this is worse than the stinger. I would say this is worse.
Yes, but it's super good with Stinger.
It's okay. It's like it's decently tanky. It's good at killing things, but AI
I
is
think it's
dumb.
like it's so good at killing things. The glider that it
AI,
spawns,
I know it's good, but the AI tends to be really stupid
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. You just need
I've
to
had
control
this
the
thing like
eye.
shoot out a fucking wall. I've had this thing shoot out walls. It tries to shoot out walls and hit something behind the wall, but it can't. It doesn't have any pierce. So it just sits there, AFK, shoots out wall, doesn't move, doesn't do anything, doesn't reposition itself, just sits there and wastes the duration. I had to kill the thing it was targeting before it would stop fucking like sitting there and doing nothing. So this thing's AI, like it can be like good at sometimes, but other times it can be
Dude,
completely
I think I
useless.
know why it does why it did this.
I know why it does that. I know why it
Why?
does it. It
There was a
doesn't.
small crack.
It's not.
No,
It's tracking. No, no. It can see the enemy behind the wall,
no,
and it
it's
wants to
there
shoot.
was a crack there, and it saw the enemy like in the crack, and it tried to shoot in the crack. That's all it
Yeah,
does.
what I'm saying is it doesn't know its hitbox. It doesn't know the hitbox of its weapon.
Yeah,
It's trying to
yeah,
shoot
it's so funny.
through cracks, but doesn't actually have a hitbox good enough for that.
Yeah,
So,
it's so funny.
um,
But
so basically, this is okay. But the biggest issue with this thing is its ridiculous cooldown.
yeah,
It's
but that's the
only
point of it.
useful on engineer and breacher. I don't think this is good on anyone else because the cooldown's too high.
Yeah.
Like those two classes can lower this cooldown. Like breacher in particular, with correct setup, can make this cooldown basically non-existent. But uh, it's
I would like argue that the fucking Angie,
Raider.
no,
Raider can use it.
Angie with reducer can like proc this thing constantly.
Yeah, but breacher reducer can practice even more constantly. So that's not relevant.
Is it okay? To be honest, like the Angie can just like spam the turret. It's overall it's better on Angie than it's better on the
I would say it's better on breacher because
nah
breacher,
nah
with correct synergy,
not.
you can
Why
get this.
would Breacher need this? He
That's
better
the
off.
reason I want the stinger to have a distraction so you can kill everything.
It's better off like he better off with Stinger than this,
Yeah, but you don't always get stinger every time.
dude.
Sometimes you start high command instead of fucking stinger. It's just
Bruh.
sad.
Yeah, that's so sad. Okay, that's all the items we have. So I think that's all for
Yeah.
now, right?
Basically, if you want the meta build right now, literally on every class, just token, shock impulse, power shocks,
Yeah.
twin link, and refractor crystal. Certain classes can have different setups. Like Breacher doesn't want twin link, but he wants Stinger instead twin link.
Nah,
Demo
I would say that Twin is straight up better.
Breacher,
Oh, I'm bad. I
Breacher.
yeah
The
yeah
fucking the class, it's nothing out of twin link.
yeah.
Um,
And
Demo, I wouldn't take Shock Impulse. I would
yeah,
keep
Shock Impulse
everything
is
but
useless
Shock
on demo.
Impulse. Drop
Because
down to everything else.
why Shock Impulse is useless on demo? Because this Shock Impulse cannot proc on explosives. Like if you shoot like the M42 like shot, yeah, it can proc on on like shell that hits an enemy, but it cannot proc on the explosions itself.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Generally, explosive weapons don't have good scaling with Shock Impulse. It's the only weapon type that has no good scaling with Shock Impulse.
yeah,
So, but basically, there's some adjustments that can be made for certain classes, but that's the meta build. You can obviously like just because it's the meta build, you're not obligated to actually use it. Like use other shit. I would recommend using other shit because I don't use it myself all the time.
same.
But
I just use like Shock Impulse Refractor and GPS.
like I've seen people like say like, what's the best way to be like loop or numbers or anything? So just like fucking token those items and abuse them to the maximum because those items by themselves can solve loop for you.
Yep. So I think that's all.
Yeah, it's pretty much all. Maybe we can do like fucking module tier list or something.
Maybe comment
God
down.
damn it.
Comment in the in the comment section. Should we do this? Also, like and
Also,
subscribe.
the audio is terrible like last time. Blame Oleg, not me. It's
Yes,
not my
yes.
mic.
I
It's
tested
his.
it.
It's his.
I tested it. It was quite good. So I have no idea why the fuck would it be. It would be bad. Also, say bye.
I see people like going like, "Bad ZX's mic is like bathroom quality." It's like, no, it's because Oleg is a retard.
No, fuck
Okay,
off.
bye.
It was you.
Yeah, it was me, totally.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Okay. Bye. Thank you for watching.